We are coming at you live from the frozen cold barn here in Redford as the Central Michigan Chippewas and Lawrence Tech Blue Devils get set to battle it out here on this beautiful fall Friday afternoon. Hi again, everybody. Welcome inside Redford Ice Arena. Reagan Cleves alongside Michael Rosenkrantz. Michael, it's good to be back with you after a couple of weeks, but boy, was it a couple of weeks for Central Michigan.
It really was the last couple of weeks for Central Michigan, going all the way to Springfield, Missouri, have their chance to get back into a showcase tournament and come out strong, 2-0-1 on the weekend, and taking home some hardware while they're at it.
Yeah, indeed, the Chippewas with wins over Missouri State and Drury and a overtime loss to Maryville come out as the first ever out-of-state champions of the Route 66 showcase. The first time that has happened in nearly 7 years in that tournament. And so for Central Michigan, they've had a couple of great games against, especially recently, against the likes of Missouri State and Drury. But I really want to focus in on that Missouri State game, Michael, where CMU comes out, they play hard, they play tough, and they come out with the win over a number 3 ranked team, now ranked number 12.
Yes, Reagan, and it's also the second time in 3 seasons that Central Michigan has upset Missouri State. I don't know what it is against these ranked opponents, especially Missouri State, but Central Michigan has played very well against this Missouri State team. They came out guns blazing. That saw Jace Johnson get a hat trick versus the Ice Bears as well to cap off his 4-goal weekend. So it was just a great performance all around for Central Michigan against Missouri State, a team that they're now 2-0 against in the all-time series.
Yeah, and it was a couple of games for that third-line trio of Jace Johnson, Isaac Gibbs, and Isaac Hopp, where we'd seen them kind of fizzle out the last couple of weeks, but they come in last week and get the job done against Missouri State. That puts CMU at 7-1-0 and even 500 on the campaign with that one overtime loss to Maryville. They sit at 15 points, but more importantly, they're tied for first in the MCHC East. One of only 4 teams that have played a game thus far, and they're tied with Michigan at the top spot.
They are, Reagan. This is where it always gets interesting in division play. You have a chance to play against the opponents that have made their stride to the national tournament a season ago and are looking to get their way back there. Central hasn't made the national tournament in a little bit of time. Last year, they haven't made the national tournament, so they're looking to get back there, and they're off on the right foot so far, but they got a tough LTU opponent coming up today.
They do have a tough LTU opponent, but CMU comes in hot, as we mentioned, a 5-game point streak dating back to the start of November. CMU has not lost in the month of November in regulation. I should add that caveat. CMU did have that overtime loss to Maryville, but they have been very good. They've been playing a lot of close defensive hockey, and that's really been what's helped them win these games.
It really has, Reagan. The defense has stepped up when they need to, and they're turning that defense into good offensive opportunities. Third line getting back to work as they accounted for most of the production for the Central Michigan team, but it's always good to see the Chippewa defense come alive and players step up and really get into those tough zones when it matters.
Yeah, full 38% of Central Michigan's points have come from that third line of Johnson, Hopp, and Gibbs. So they have really been pouring on the pressure for CMU as of late. On the other side, Lawrence Tech comes in ranked number 6 in the national rankings, the second edition of the rankings. They were number 5, so they fell 1 spot in 2 weeks, but that's doing no short order to that overtime loss they have against Grand Valley State. But they have been a very good team. They come in not having points in every single game that they have played this season.
Yeah, Reagan, this is a very difficult LTU team that's coming up on the docket for Central Michigan. You mentioned the overtime loss against GV. They had another overtime game. That one they won against Miami of Ohio, and they were down at Goggin Ice Center playing the Red Hawks, but against a Trine team that has made strides in the past. They blew out Trine last weekend. And for LTU, I mean, they're making strides. They're 9-0-1, and they're tied for 3rd in the MCHC East right now, but don't let that tied for 3rd fool you. They are hungry to continue their quest to the national tournament and defend their title from a season ago.
Well, you mentioned the tied for 3rd. The only reason they are 3rd is they haven't played a single game in the MCHC East. They open up their play against Central Michigan tonight. We take a look at the series history between these two teams. Central Michigan, you might look at this record and go, hey, they've got a pretty good chance. 11-7-0-4 all time against the Blue Devils. However, LT was dominated the last 7. Got a regulation loss in those last 7 games. 4-0-1-2, the record for the Blue Devils in those last 7 games. The only Central Michigan win in that span, a double overtime win against the Blue Devils in the MCHC divisional quarterfinals from a year ago. Pardon me, from 3 years ago. Dang, I'm dating myself. Feels like a year ago. But it's been that long since Jacob St. Andre found the back of the net in double overtime to give CMU the Vezina Cup semifinal berth. And their last regular season game win came back on October 12th of 2019. So we're nearly 5 years removed from the last time Central Michigan defeated the Lawrence Tech Blue Devils in the regular season and, for that matter, in regulation time. Can they do it tonight? We'll see if they can spoil the MCHC East opener here at Redford Ice Arena. We'll step aside. We'll come back with more of the pregame show here on CCHN. Time now to take a look at your impact players here at Redford Ice Arena. Reagan Cleaves alongside Michael Rosenkrantz. Radio ringside here at the old barn in Redford. Central Michigan taking on Lawrence Tech. Michael, who do we got as our players to watch?
Yeah, for Central Michigan, Reagan, we're going to start with Jace Johnson. It seems to be a broken record with Jace Johnson. He's played all 15 games, going to be number 16 here tonight. He's got 14 goals, 3 assists for his 17 points on the campaign. We already talked about it, but he's got speed, and when he has speed, that generates chances. A 4-goal weekend at the Route 66 Showcase, again with that hat trick against Missouri State, and he tacked on another one against Drury in that 6-2 victory. He leads the team in points and goals, and when it always seems when Jace Johnson does well, good things happen for this Central Michigan team. You see it time and time again. When he gets on the board, it really starts to tilt momentum in the favor of the Chippewas, so they look to do that here again tonight. Second player for Central Michigan, you're going to go to Isaac Gibbs. He's played 14 games, 9 goals, 6 assists for his 15 points on the campaign. He's second in goals and in points, and coming off of a little bit of a slump for him because against Drury, he had a multi-goal game, 2-goal game. That was his first in 6 in Drury for Isaac Gibbs, so he's starting to figure it out. And I mentioned down here with this third line, it's a mass production zone on this Chippewa team. They're starting to figure it out, and when they get buzzing, good things can happen for this team.
Yeah, the key for them, Michael, as we've seen, is getting Central Michigan to kind of spread out that offense. We've really seen that third line take the bulk of opportunities, but more recently, they've kind of stymied for a little bit. They've kind of found their stride, but you're really going to have to find that depth against a team like Lawrence Tech, who has over 30 players on their roster. This is by far the longest player board I've had to make. It's by far the longest roster sheet I've had to make. And they've got a lot of talent to pick from. So who'd you pick?
For Lawrence Tech, let's start with Logan Barnes. He's played in all 9 games. He has 5 goals, 12 assists for his 17 points. He leads his team in points and assists. And as you can see from that assist total, Reagan, at 12, he's a creator of many different chances. And one of the players on this Lawrence Tech team, and he's only a sophomore, so you're starting to see a lot of young blood for this Lawrence Tech team take strides, and this has a good mix of players. It has a lot of younger guys and some more experienced veterans, your juniors, your seniors. And secondly, I'm going to go with Will Jentz. He's played in all 9 games as well. He leads the team in goals with 7. He's got 9 assists for 16 points on the campaign. He's somebody who has great chemistry with his teammates on and off the ice. And with Logan and Will, expect those two to link up quite a bit tonight as they'll be looking to create a bulk of the chances for the Blue Devils.
And it'll be interesting to see how Central Michigan plans to attack these Lawrence Tech Blue Devils against the reigning national champions, ranked number 6 in the nation. What do we got for our keys to the game, Michael?
For our keys to the game, first thing I want to see from the Chippewas tonight is keep the power play going. You had a good weekend against the 3 opponents in the Route 66 showcase, and your power play was at 33% and even 5 for 15, just about an even 33.3%. And they're starting to figure out on the power play. For a bulk of this season, the power play has been really a struggling factor for Central Michigan, while their penalty kill has done a much better job, and they've kept those numbers up pretty high. So I'd like to see the power play continue to click for the Central Michigan team. I also want to see some forechecking pressure here tonight. Central Michigan has got to come out fast and hard against this Lawrence Tech team. This is another team where you've seen in the past, Reagan, Central Michigan plays these ranked opponents and they dig themselves in early holes just because they're simply not pressuring enough or playing fast or hard enough. So they're going to have to have a hard and fast start tonight to match LTU step for step. And finally, look for your chances tonight. Chances are going to happen. It's going to be a fast, physical game. There will be chances that occur. Take every opportunity you can on those chances, and good things will happen to you.
Those are your keys to the game. Central Michigan looking for their second ranked win of the campaign. Picked up their first last week in a massive upset over the then number 2 ranked Missouri State Ice Bears. We'll see if they can do it here coming up in just a little bit, but right now we'll pause. More of the pregame show coming up next here on CCHN. As the tunes of the LTU pep band warming up bring us back here inside Redford Ice Arena. Again, LTU making their home here at Redford after a couple of long seasons at Farmington Hills Ice Arena, where they found their way to a national championship a year ago. But new barn, new year, maybe a new result for Central Michigan as they look for their first win in 7 tries against the Blue Devils here tonight. Time now to take a look at the MCHCE standings. Again, we mentioned it already off the top. CMU and Michigan deadlocked at the top of the MCHC with 4 points apiece, each picking up 2 wins against Michigan Flint and Adrian, respectively. CMU got the sweep over Michigan Flint, but Adrian actually held Michigan to a 1-goal game in the second game of that series. So either Adrian's looking a lot better, played a lot better in that game, or Michigan had an off night. We'll see. We'll see about that come later on this season. LTU Oakland still yet to play MCHC games. Lawrence Tech, though, will open up their divisional play here tonight. Oakland will likewise open up their season against Central Michigan next week. Come the two teams battle at Buffalo Wild Wings Arena. So Oakland right now inactive in divisional play. Michigan, Flint, and Adrian round out the 6 teams in the MCHC East. Both of them are 0-2. On the docket tonight, Michigan on the road, at home against Hope. the 9-0 Wolverines and the 12-2 Dutchmen. Boy, that's going to be a heavyweight matchup.
It will be, Reagan. Anytime that Michigan and Hope play together, regardless of whether any Hope and any other contender matches up, you know it's going to be a dandy. Certainly we'll have to keep an eye on that tonight.
Yeah, certainly. Puck drop at Arctic Edge of Canton at 6 p.m. They'll turn around the series tomorrow at 7:30 at Griff's Ice House West. Oakland was scheduled to play Akron this weekend. However, the Zips forfeited both games, couldn't make the trip. Understandable. Travel certainly a concern here at lower level club hockey. So good to see. Unfortunate to see, but Oakland will be well rested coming into next week. So the Oakland again inactive this weekend before they take on Central Michigan next week, and then Adrian taking on Butler in a two-game set at Arrington Ice Arena. Two teams that are right around the 500 mark at Adrian 3-4 and Butler 4-4-2. They will start their series tomorrow at 7 p.m. before rounding it out on Sunday at 1 p.m. Both those games at Arrington Ice Arena. We don't have scratches for you today. We were a little bit rushed getting here. Got here within an hour before pregame, so we do not know scratches as of yet. Starting in netminders, we know neither. So we'll step aside. Michael, when we got here, you were able to sit down with head coach Brennan Martin, and I'll send it over to you for the Coaches Show right after this break here on CCHN.
Welcome back to Redford Ice Arena here with Central Michigan head coach Brennan Martin. Coach, what a weekend to say the least. You guys went 2-0-1 in the Route 66 Showcase and took home some hardware, the first team out of state to get the Route 66 Showcase title. How'd that feel coming out of the weekend?
Yeah, it felt good. I mean, you look at Friday, that was a game that we thought as a group that we probably let it get away from us. So we didn't start the weekend out good, but for them to get that win on Saturday against Missouri State, huge confidence booster. And then Sunday, they took care of business, and we didn't quite know that there was a trophy involved in it or any of the other stats about being the first out of team state to win that in their 8-year existence or whatnot. So I think for the guys, it was a good bus ride home after, at least you get to bring something back with you. You kind of make the trip worth it. But as a group, I think that they realized that, this is something that they needed to do. And now they realize the standard that I expect out of them to play. So,
touching on that standard, this is the second divisional series in the month of November, and now you're facing Lawrence Tech, the defending national champions. What's the message going into today?
Yeah, well, it's going to be a lot of playing our game. And like I said, we've talked about this before with, you have an intensity that you have to be playing every single time that you guys get on the ice. So they've seen teams like Lawrence Tech before. You've played your Grand Valleys and your Calvins and your Michigan State. So it's not like we're going to go out there and see anything that we haven't seen before. But now it's time we have to go in and win one of these, and this is a great weekend to do that.
Absolutely. Touching on one of the players in Jace Johnson, he had a hat trick in that game against Missouri State, and he had 4 total goals in 3 days. Just kind of speak on what Jace has meant to this team so far.
Yeah, I mean, he's been a huge addition to the team since he's come to campus now. This is his second year on the team, and I think for him it was really just adjusting to the pace of play and the kind of style of game that the ACHA is in general. And now he's getting those looks, and that's what I've been talking to him about is, with his speed that he does have, you have to use that in a certain way, And at the start of it, he was struggling with that, and now he's starting to pick it up, and he's starting to catch his stride. So this is one of those weekends where you need to see him come out on top again, and you got to see some stuff out of him, and not only him, but, the rest of the guys too. So.
And finally, Coach, for the messages today, something that Central Michigan has kind of been notorious for against these ranked teams is kind of digging themselves in an early hole. So what is the message and the key tonight for a win against Lawrence Tech?
You have to come out hard. You have to come out fast, and you can't get into that. Like you said, you can't go into between first and second period down 3-0. It's against a good team like this or any other team you're going to play this year that's ranked like that. You have to be able to keep those games close and competitive. And a big part of that, which we've talked about before, is staying out of the penalty box, right? Playing 5-on-5 hockey. When we play 5-on-5, we believe we can compete with anyone in the country. And you can't take all these penalties and expect your PK to go 100% every night. It's statistically probably not going to happen, right? So you have to start fast, and you have to keep these games competitive for the first 10, 15 minutes. And we're going to get our looks today. We're going to get our opportunities. I'm confident in that. And it starts with taking care of your D zone, and then once you get into the O zone, making the right plays and putting the puck in the back of the net.
Coach, thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Now, Central Michigan head coach Brennan Martin. Stay with us. More after this on CCHN.
Well, it's not often you hear the dulcet tones of a pep band providing the national anthem, but that's what we have here tonight. And Michael has the starting netminders.
Starting goaltenders for Central Michigan and Lawrence Tech. Starting with Central Michigan, they'll turn once again to Caleb Woolery, who Central Michigan last saw in the overtime loss against Maryville. Through 6 games, now in number 7 today, he has a 1-4-1 record with a .446 goals against average and a .902 save percentage. For Lawrence Tech, they turn to one of their 2 seniors in net, Tim Young, who through 5 games, he's entering number 6 today, has a 4-0-1 record, I should say, with that OT loss, with a .198 goals against average and a .903 save percentage.
Woolery stood tall in net for Central Michigan in that overtime loss, stopping 45 of 47 last Friday against the Maryville Saints. We're set and ready to go. Central Michigan will head from left to right across your radio dial. Road maroon uniforms with gold trim, gold numerals, gold helmets, maroon pants, maroon socks. Lawrence Tech will counter right to left in those white home uniforms, brand new for the defending national champions, with a blue stripe across the chest, blue shoulders, blue striping along the trim, blue pants, and white socks. We've got 20 minutes on the clock here at Redford. The puck is down at the LTU logo, and we're underway. We played near side by Pedersen as he's out there with DRC, Grove, Oda, and Barnes to start things off for LTU. Central Michigan counters with Chase Johnson, Isaac Gibbs, Hutton, Martin, and Hop. Play along the far boards. It'll be crunched to the boards there by Hutton. Sophomore is able to poke it free and up to the line. Out comes Chase Johnson with speed down the left side. He's Barnes fanned on the check. Jace gets tripped down into the boards. Penalty coming up against LTU here. It's pinned up along the boards. Woolery off for the extra skater, but LTU pulls it free. And it'll be a trip here on, I believe, Alex Grove.
This is a good opportunity here for Central Michigan to come and capitalize right off the bat. We're 39 seconds into the game, and there's already a power play for Central Michigan. LTU was able to get it into the Chippewas zone within about 5 seconds within that puck being dropped. But now the Chippewas have a key offensive zone of their own and looking to set something up on the power play.
That was a mistake, and Josh Peterson gets the infraction at 33 seconds of this opening period. Central Michigan on an early power play. Draw to the left of Young, won by Central Michigan. Nathan Bottles out there with Gibbs, Morgan, and Siraki, along with Martin at the D. For this top pairing, LTU quickly able to force a turnover and clear it down the ice, already killing off 12 seconds. It'll be behind the Central Michigan net. Out comes Chris Martin through center. Dangling over the LTU logo. He's got some speed to the outside. Pulls it into the middle. Bottles couldn't get a hand on it. It was blocked, and it's cleared down the length of the ice there by Radu.
That's the right idea for Central Michigan. Look for that centering feed. Look for your chances. Got one to Bottles, but he couldn't get the stick on it and put it home.
Central Michigan scored 5 power play goals in the 3 games of the Route 66 showcase. They've got in the offensive corner now. Near side, Bottles, though, worked over, and it's cleared down the ice once again by Luke Radu. And Central Michigan will have to go racing back into their own end with 1:07 remaining in this first period. Pardon me, in the penalty here. CMU here couldn't get it out of their own zone. A good poke check at the line there by Nicholas Oda, and the issue will be forced back in the Central Michigan end. Isaac Hop, centering feed, knocked away, and they score! Josh Pedersen puts it home. Pardon me. LTU is on the board with a shorthanded tally.
Yeah, Reagan, looks to be Devin Genzel with that shorthanded tally for LTU. That's his 3rd goal in the campaign. That's just a bad giveaway for Central Michigan. Couldn't get it out of the own zone. Devin Genzel was able to read that puck as it was passed, and he just rips it past Caleb Woolery. It's 1-0 Blue Devils.
1:46. The time of the shorthanded tally. That's a big goof up in the defensive end by Isaac Hop, who tried to feed it up the middle. It was picked off and booted home, and LTU has the lead. So Will Gents gets the power play tally. I apologize. He's wearing number 34. He's listed as number 16, so we'll keep that in mind going forward. Meanwhile, Central Michigan still has some time left on the power play, trying to work it free on the near boards of the hash marks. Poked into the corner, shoveled behind the net by Barnes, and it'll be controlled across the way there by Gents. It's pulled free and whisked out to center there by Caleb Dahl. And the power play is over for CMU. So a shorthanded tally, not the way you wanted to start this contest. If you're Central Michigan, especially coming off of that big upset win against Missouri State last week. Chippewas able to chip this one out to center. It's loose at the LTU blue line, poked across the way, controlled by Genzel. Will fire it on in. Bishop crunched into the corner there with Stepanek. Battle for it, the hash marks. Comes back up to the point. Near side, Sawyer Walker trying to poke it free. Chippewas able to get it out to center, though. They couldn't connect with Armentrout. It's batted at the blue line. They trickle back to the LTU line. Racing back is Holtkamp. Pressured by Bottles. Good effort by the senior to try and work that puck free, but he lost an edge, and it'll come back out to center. This one will be fired right back in. 3:25 gone in the opening frame. LTU already up 1-0 on a Will Gent shorty. And this will go for icing against the Blue Devils here with 16:28 to go.
LTU has started off this game fast, and they're not showing any signs of slowing down right now, Reagan. Ice is already starting to tilt their way after that shorthanded goal. And for Will Jensen's now his 8th goal on the campaign with that shorthanded tally, already making his presence felt tonight at Redford.
Draw to the right here of Tim Young. Face off one cleanly by LTU, and they'll control behind their own net with Sawyer Walker. Will chip it up the wing. Look out, a possible 2-on-1 developing for the Blue Devils. Across the line, Gents trying to poke it away. They're from Camara, and they'll go bashing down into the corner. Loose puck comes up the near boards. CMU is able to get it out to center. Miller flipped it on ahead, hit a couple of bodies, and it'll trickle back to the LTU zone. Losier couldn't control it. Johnson, the back door, fires, scores! It's Ryan Grono, right place, right time, 1-1.
That's the way you get back into it if you're Central Michigan. How about that? Ryan Grolo, in his 13th game today, gets his 2nd goal of the campaign, but not a bigger goal than that, Reagan. You're down 1-1. Central Michigan responds the way they need to, and it's a 1-1 tie at 3:59 in the first.
And it's a beautiful play along the near boards to work it free. They got it in front to Grolo, who pots it home past Tim Young, and it's 1-1. 16:01 remaining in the first period. LTU, though, right back in. They won't miss a beat. They control. They work it back up to the point. Hammer shot blockered away by Woolery. That came courtesy of Josh Peterson. Rebound along the half boards. Controlled by CMU, and they'll work it up the far wing. Gibbs tipped it to the LTU blue line. Controlled now by Barnes. And he'll try to feed it through center, but it's tipped ahead by Isaac Hopp, and it'll roll in on Woolery, who will hold with Nick Oda pressuring. 15:31 remaining, period 1.
That's good initiative by Isaac Hopp, able to get his stick down into the passing lane. Just took an odd deflection and it rolled right in on Caleb Woolery, who had to cover it up because he had a Blue Devil streaking in hot.
Well, after the goof up in the defensive end, I think Isaac Hopp will no doubt take a deflection at the neutral zone rather than a centering feed right into the hands of the LTU Blue Devils. Nick Oda, one man too many for LTU. And so they'll have to chase from the dot redo, and they come back in and win the faceoff. In the corner, Tommy Walsh battling for it. Loose puck out at the blue line, controlled by Radu. He'll slap it around the boards, far side. It'll wind around to the near corner. Centering feed, look out. Radu circling right on in. Woolery's hauled down with Tommy Walsh on the doorstep. Luckily, no harm comes. 15:13 to go.
Good way for LTU to bring that pressure into Chippewa zone, but just getting a little too close to the net there. And Caleb Woolery let down. No harm, no foul. LTU will try again.
Gents with his 8th of the year now leads LTU in goals, but Ryan Grolo picks up his 2nd, and we're deadlocked at 1. Now a shot from the point. That took a wide carom off a man in the corner. They battle for it down far side. Down in the corner, Miller is able to pull it away, clear up to the line. Kept in by Barnes, though. Will play it. It's bouncing at the LTU blue line, and Barnes will come over and control it. Protecting the puck across the line left side. Will dump it deep. Oda firing it up to the point, but it was vacated and will be controlled out at center by Sawyer Walker. The captain, alongside Mitchell Selmeyer, Luke Radu, and Nicholas Oda. The alternates. Now LTU right back in left side. They'll try to dish it out in front, deflected down behind the net. It'll be pulled free. Now a centering feed, intercepted. LTU out in front, and they couldn't control that. The point Holmes dishes it off. Right circle, a shot out in front. That's loose. Walker swats it on goal, and Woolery able to hold on to it cleanly with 14-16 to go here in the first.
Blue Devils doing a good job of creating that pressure in front of the net, but credit Central Michigan. They're getting into the way of LTU, trying to knock them off with a physical play and sticking with them so far, step for step, other than that shorthanded tally earlier in the period.
On the left of Woolery. Both centers are going to be chased out here, and it'll be Armentrout against Caleb Dahl. Dahl wins it. Hammer shot from the point by Walker. That sailed just wide, and CMU will control on the near side and clear onto center. Bouncing puck into the LTU blue line. Bottles hauled down. And away come the Blue Devils. Across the line, here's Holmes. Cutting into the right wing circle. Pulls up at the hash mark. Centered it out in front and deflected into the circle where it's cleared back out to the near side. LTU lofts it back in. Controlling here is Josh Gilgren. Will flop it into the opposite corner, and icing is going to be the call against CMU. And folks, you'll pardon the sound of my voice here tonight. It hasn't been very amiable to me this week. Caught something on the bus trip back from Missouri. I've been trying to get it off for a week, but nonetheless, it's still with me. Oh, look out. A puck went off of Gilgren's skate right in front of the blue paint and somehow didn't go past Caleb Woolery, and LTU will control back in their own end. Trevor Lossier holds, and he'll wheel out with 13:32 to go. He's got speed. He'll gain the red line, dump it in, negate the icing. Chris Martin back defensively for CMU. Tried the DDD pass. It deflects eventually to Camara, but he's tied up in the corner. Fired around to the far side. Rollo able to tip it out. 13:14 to go here in the first. We're tied 1-1. LTU a shorty from Will Gents. And Ryan Grollo with his second of the campaign to tie it. Play down in the LTU end. They'll try to move it out through center. Holmes tipped it on ahead. He's got speed down the right wing. Pardon me, that's Gensel weaving his way to the outside, centered it out in front. Nobody home there for the Blue Devils. They'll come to the near side. Lossier will force it back out to center. Rink wide feed tipped up into the bench/hallway behind the Central Michigan bench. Again, this is an old bar here in Redford. And the bench/the hallway to the dressing rooms is one thing. There is no back to the bench. Face off right in front of the Chippewa bench across the way. Won by LTU. Boy, those face-offs, we aren't keeping track of them, but they've got to be 90% LTU, if not more. Chippewas trying to flip it out. Knocked down at the line by Barnes. He got a shot off. It was deflected wide. Rebound controlled by CMU in the corner. Nick Oda pressuring with Hop. 12:14 to go. Oda spinning free with it. Rammed to the boards by Gibbs. Gibbs comes away with it on the near boards. Able to flip it rink wide. Hutton will slap it out where it's put right back in from whence it came. 8 minutes gone. Opening period. Reagan Cleves, Michael Rosenkrantz with you here at Redford. Nick Oda shaking his hand as he comes out of the neutral zone, or as he comes out of the CMU end. Maybe he wants a penalty. It looked like he might have gotten slashed back in the CMU end, but nonetheless, an icing against LTU will bring the draw back to our right.
This is key for Central Michigan. Try and win the offensive faceoff as it was in the power play. LTU has dominated on the faceoff so far.
Connor Morgan directing traffic. We'll dig in against Gents here. Morgan able to tie up his man. Kuhn pulled it free. It was loose in his skates, but it's eventually poked to the point. Bowerson kept it in. Paid the price, though, as he got decked by Barnes, and away come the Blue Devils. Gents with speed out to the right side, trying to weave into the slot, but he got knocked down there by Grimes. Away comes CMU. Siraki at center. Got worked over, and here's Gents once again. Weaving into the offensive end. Tried the drop pass. It was cut off, and it'll be played back out at center and not bet out play.
LTU has just been cycling this puck so efficiently and so quickly, Reagan. And Central Michigan, credit to them. Again, they've been matching them step for step, but LTU starting to show signs of life. They've been able to get away on a couple breakaway chances.
Now the referees are deciding where to put this face-off as they're having a discussion right in front of the broadcast booth, just inside the face-off dot, near side outside the LTU zone. And all four of them have gotten together. They're definitely discussing the face-off spot, and they'll put it right at center. 11:26 remaining, first period. CMU and LTU deadlocked at 1. We've seen this before. These two teams tied 2-2 last year at LTU's barn, then Farmington Hills Ice Arena. They have since moved, and we're playing here at Redford. Walker stepping over the line. Dropped it off to the right point. Shoveled down deep. Behind the net, LTU controls. Gents fed it out in front of backdoor. Opportunity was blocked. Another chance was denied. It bounces around in the slot, and the Chippewas will chip it to the line, but kept in, though. Great play there by Caleb Dahl. The freshman out of Goodrich puts it deep. Rebound came back out of the slot. Look out, Dahl forces a turnover. LTU, they've got it right circled. Dahl couldn't handle it. Picked up by Holmes. Up to the point. One-time blast. Saved by Woolery. Rebound. Walker, another opportunity blocked by Bowerson. And Central Michigan will clear it the length of the ice. I see the signal, but it will not be called as LTU wins the race. Dahl let that one go right past him on the rink. Wide feed. Central Michigan, though, able to put it back into the LTU end. Armentrout blocked the clearing attempt and will play it back D-to-D. Josh Gilgren will dump it in deep. LTU controlling as they move right to left. First period. We're halfway through the frame. With speed. Look out, LTU right in. A shot saved by Woolery. Rebound. Right on the far side. Controlled by Radu. Will cycle it up to the point. A shot through traffic. Save Woolery. Rebound. To the far side. Tommy Walsh couldn't get to it in time. He and Gilgren go falling into the boards across the way. It's pulled free. That's Bottles. He can't clear it. Turned it over. Jeffrey ran behind the cage. Battles for it. Gilgren comes in. It's 2-on-2. And eventually LTU is able to pull it free. Radu down in the corner. Far side. Worked it up to the point. Couldn't be kept in, though, by Guillermo Hernandez. And CMU will play it back defensively here with 9:28 to go. Losier rocked his man at center. LTU will play it back in their own end. They clear it out to the zone. Hutton overskated it. And it'll go back to CMU territory. Martin, a nifty pass ahead to Julian Johnson. He forwarded on ahead to Miller, who chips it into the offensive zone. 11 minutes gone here in the first period. We're tied at 1. Reagan Cleef, Michael Rosenkrantz here with you on CCHN. Long shot from the left point by Hutton. Turned aside by Tim Young. First time we've said his name tonight other than that goal scored by Grollo moments ago. He hasn't been tested much. CMU with the play back in their own end. Trying to move it out to the far point, and they can't do so. Chopped down low by Pedersen. Behind the net, Chris Martin had a nifty end-to-end goal 4 years ago at this point, at Farmington Hills Ice Arena. The lone power play goal in that game for CMU, in which they lost pretty decisively. CMU unable to clear it, though. It's put right back in on Woolery. A falling Blue Devil couldn't put it home, and Woolery will hold with 8:13 to go.
Fans, don't forget that the CMU Club Hockey Network is your one-stop shop for highlights, exclusive interviews, and full game broadcasts for all CMU hockey teams. Make sure to subscribe on YouTube and turn on notifications so as never to miss a moment of Chippewa hockey. CCHN, your home for Chippewa hockey.
Face-off will be to the left of Caleb Woolery. I mentioned that tough loss for Central Michigan. It was a 5-1 loss back on February 12th, 2022. And that was a week before CMU ended up knocking off the Blue Devils in double overtime with Jacob St. Andre's tally to push them on to the Vezina Cup semifinals. The last time they've advanced to that semifinal round. With 8 minutes to go, Chippewas will hold behind their own net, but an errant pass will find it along the half boards. They couldn't clear it. Here's a shot from the near side half boards. Derek D'Arcy put it wide. He had enough momentum from all the way back out to center before Clements will play it on the near side out of his own zone. He got tied up along the corner with Tommy Walsh. It'll go up and into the netting. Pardon me, got tied up with Sawyer Walker. 7:38 remaining in the first period.
It's been all LTU in terms of keeping the puck in the Chippewa zone, Reagan. Central Michigan able to keep it out there, but there's not nearly been enough possession time in LTU zone, so something's got to change, and Central Michigan has got to find ways to get it into the LTU offensive zone.
Shades of the Calvin series last month toward the tail end of October, where CMU controlled almost none of the play, but ended up coming out of a tight defensive game, and thus far that's what we've had. Here's Derek D'Arcy across that line. Will weave the right wing circle, pull up in the corner far side. His pass to the point picked off. Chase Johnson has some speed, tries to go for the hit, and he gets tied up across the way with Grove, and he'll go off for a change. The Chippewas put it deep. Barnes out of his own zone, pass to the line picked off, and away come the Blue Devils. They get their signals crossed at center though, and Isaac Hopp will control and play it back defensively with under 7 to play. First period here at Redford. Kamara's lead pass through center, picked off, sent right back in. Kamara gloves it on ahead. He'll chip it down the ice. Icing will be waved off as it's played by Logan Barnes behind his net. Pressured by Nick Kuhn. Boy, he's been good for Central Michigan as of late. Not many points on the score sheet for Nick. Only 2 on the season, but he has been a whirling dervish out there for the Chippewas. Now here comes Siraki across that line right wing. Circling to the outside, pressured by Barnes. Tried to reverse field to Kuhn, but it'll be picked off by Caleb Dahl. And Dahl will try to fire this out. It took a deflection. Hutton will sling it to the near side for Martin. He returns the favor with 6 minutes to play. Here in the opening frame, Chippewas tied up with LTU thanks to a Ryan Grollo goal. Siraki able to chip this on in. Can't pursue it because Morgan was in the zone, and away come the Blue Devils left to right, or right to left parted. Ran over the line, coughed it up. We'll play it back where it's fired on in by Lucier. With pursuit, Guillermo Hernandez rubbed out of the play behind the net. Puck came free into the slot where it's chipped ahead on left wing. Away comes Nathan Bottles. Pressured to the outside by Rand. It'll be tipped on ahead. Bottles able to deflect it to himself. Trying to kick it on ahead, but it was loose in the skates of Hutton and cleared out by the Blue Devils. 5:22 remaining first period. Central Michigan and LTU tied. It's been all Lawrence Tech in terms of the shot category. I imagine he's only had 1 or 2. LTU, though, dominating on the possession. This is deflected into the offensive end for CMU with 5:03 remaining in the first period. Working out of his own zone, Lucier's lead pass on ahead, tipped into the zone by Holtkamp. Grimes back behind the net, will chip it to the near side. Clements trying to work things out. His pass ahead was tipped there by Devin Genzel, and that will gate the icing against CMU. Back and forth here in the last couple of minutes. Neither team really able to control anything in the offensive end. Here's Genzel across the line for the Blue Devils. Drops it back right point. Smashed down below there by D'Arcy. LTU played with a high stick, and so we'll have a stoppage of play with 4:28 to go, first period.
You're really starting to see, Reagan, those quick shifts from head coach Brennan Martin and this Central Michigan team. He wants to get fresh bodies out there very quickly against a stout LTU team who has been the much faster team thus far in this first period.
Draw outside the Central Michigan end. They play a weird play with Stepanek deployed all the way on the left wing. When the faceoff happened on the right wing, that forced CMU to have to put a player back. Look out. CMU gave it away in the defensive end. A pass out in front deflects into the right wing circle and cleared down the ice. It'll go on Tim Young, so icing will be waved off. Lead pass on ahead. Clements has it at center. Will backhand it in. Grollo will tag up and go in pursuit. On the forecheck, trying to pressure Josh Pedersen, who plays back behind his own goal. Pass up the left wing. Barnes on the breakout. Ahead to Oda. Intercepted by Clements and played back right to Barnes. Rink wide feed. Too hard for Alex Grove. And Grollo will play it with Grimes. Grimes circling in his own end with 3:44 to go. Central Michigan working left to right here in this first period. They're tied at 1 with the defending national champions. This will be rifled on in by Lucier. Had enough momentum to go all the way around the boards. Kept into the point. Stepping in, a shot that was snatched just wide by Grove. Up at the right, up the left point, Lucier lofted a shot on goal. Saved by Woolery. Rebound, another save. And a shot by DRC that carried him off of Woolery. Now it's played back out at center as Central Michigan cleared. Woolery here will gather the dump in and hold with 3:08 to go here in the first.
Interesting shot from the blue line there for LTU. Maybe just trying to catch Caleb Woolery off guard, but makes the easy glove save, and it'll be another offensive face-off for LTU.
And they've dominated the face-off circle here early. Michael, almost 90% of the face-off have been controlled by the Blue Devils. It'll be Jets to dig in, but this time Hopp is able to win it for the Chippewas. But nobody in the far corner to corral the loose puck. Battle for it ensues. Isaac Gibbs comes in to rub his man off the puck. It's loose behind the net, where Gilgren is worked over. Centering feed knocked away. Jace Johnson rifles it up to the point. Kept alive by the Blue Devils. They play it down low. Loose puck right to the side of the net. Couldn't be controlled. Blue Devils, though, get it back to Jens. He holds it top the left circle, winding his way to the right circle. Pass across by Walker. Up to the point here by Lucier. His shot was blocked again. Chippewas doing a good job of getting bodies in front here in this first period. Now it's lifted down the ice. Tim Young way out of his net with Jace Johnson in pursuit. Smart play. Jace is a speedy kid. And that negated a scoring chance for CMU, and LTU ices the puck. So they have to keep some tired bodies out there with 2:21 remaining.
This is a good opportunity for CMU to try and capitalize on this offensive zone face-off. LTU's 5 on the ice right now, have been out there for a long shift. They're tired. Be interesting to see if CMU can possibly get a shot off the draw should they win it.
Draw to the left here of Tim Young. It'll be Morgan to dig in against Jens, and Jens gets the warning. They drop the puck, and Morgan wins it cleanly back to Martin, right point. His shot through traffic, saved by Young. Rebound. Kuhn spins around, shot save. It's still loose out in front. Pulled free by Kuhn. Another save by Young. Connor Morgan got worked out in front, was sitting right on his keister in that scrum. He's looking for a penalty, and he's talking to the wrong official. He's talking to a linesman. 2:04 to go. Probably 2:09 to go first period.
What an opportunity for Central Michigan. Able to get bodies out in front of Tim Young. They jam away at it. Great effort by Nick Kuhn to try and elevate that puck, but Tim Young was able to cover it up with the glove. Central Michigan will try another offensive zone face-off, but great chance there for the Chippewas.
Morgan this time loses it cleanly to Devin Genzel, and the Blue Devils rifle it back out to center around the boards. Martin lofts this in with 2 minutes exactly to play. Stay with us for the first intermission report. Michael and I will recap the game, and then we'll take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard for CMU and the rest of the ACHA. Connor Morgan back in his own end with a couple of Blue Devils in pursuit. Lifts it rink wide and a pass out to Andrew Siraki too far. Icing will be waved off, and he's going to win the race here against Pedersen. Able to box out Pedersen. Morgan coming in. He hauls down Genzel, and the puck is loose in the far corner. Centered it back up to the point. Martin steps in for his shot. That was snapped just wide. Kuhn on the rebound. Collects, tried to center, but couldn't find Siraki, and the Blue Devils lifted out to center. At the neutral zone, Hutton slammed it on ahead. Siraki tipped it in. He'll go off for a change. Full sail. 5-man line changes for the Chippewas. With a minute and 12 remaining in the first period. Now a pass that's ripped on ahead there by Radu was intercepted. Intended for Jens. Radu, though, collects it. Neutral ice. He'll step into the zone. Fire a shot. Saved by Woolery. Rebound back in the corner. Up top. There's a long shot by Walker. Sailed wide. On the far side, Holmes able to collect. Puts it down deep. Radu unable to pull it free. Got it back to Holmes. Centering feed for Jens. He's got it. Shot deflects up and out of play with 44.3 seconds to go here in the first period.
I tell you what, Reagan, that's great awareness there by Radu, able to one-touch that pass ahead that was intercepted by Central Michigan, but that's great awareness there from Radu, and you see him working with that puck, continuing with his individual effort. That's a solid effort there for LTU.
Face-off won by LTU. A shot from the point deflected high up in the air. Woolery couldn't find it, and luckily for him, it was in front of him. Clear to the point, not out though. Cycled back down low. A centering feed from the left wing corner. Intercepted by Armentrout. He chips it up the wall. Bishop will chop it on in with 26 seconds to go. Rimmed around the boards. Kept in by Armentrout. He crossed his signals there with Grimes. He's able to push it deep. But LTU quickly on the breakout here. Gents on the intercept. Across that line right wing with 15 seconds to go. A backdoor feed. And it was just put wide. Woodery was down and out. Lucky that shot wasn't on goal. Long shot from the left point. Here by Tate Wright. He holds on, but what an opportunity there for Jeff Rand.
That was an incredible opportunity, and it just was pushed wide. A game of inches for hockey. And if it was just touched a little more to the right, it would have been 2-1 LTU. But Chippewas very fortunate to get out of that one unscathed, because LTU could have had a 1-goal lead after 20 minutes.
Part of that was Radu who had that opportunity. It looked like he just couldn't handle it. Meanwhile, LTU wins the faceoff with under 5 seconds to go. Shot was blocked. It's loose out in front of Woodery. He kicked it free. Another save from a sharp angle. And time has expired here in the opening period. 1-1. CMU, though, Michael, a couple of late chances there for LTU. And the Chippewas come away even at 1.
That's a good way for the Chippewas to come away in that first period, even at 1. It was a very quick goal from LTU to start the game, a shorthanded goal from Will Gents, but Ryan Grolo able to respond at just about 4 minutes into the first period, knotted up at 1. Lots of good chances for LTU, but the scoreboard is knotted up at 1 apiece. So good spot for the Chippewas to be in. They have to make some adjustments in period number 2.
Yeah, we'll see what adjustments they make. Michael and I will suppose what adjustments they make when we come back here. 15-minute intermission here at Redford, and it's just getting started here on CCHN. Welcome back to Redford Ice Arena for intermission number 1. Reagan Cleaves, Michael Rosenkrantz with the call here on CCHN Radio. 13 minutes remaining here in this one. 17-4. The shots on goal in that first period. An offensive onslaught by LTU, but CMU holding strong. They come out even.
They do, Reagan, and the shot total is not something you want to see if you're Central Michigan. You're down by a margin of 13 in terms of the shot total. Tim Young not tested too much other than the goal that he gave up to Ryan Grolo. But hey, the scoreboard is knotted up at 1. But again, Central Michigan has got to find ways to establish possession in the offensive zone. They've been doing a good job of getting bodies out in front of whether it be Caleb Woolery and Tim Young. Just a matter of time of how much possession time they can control the puck in.
Yeah, and you saw CMU give up a couple of late opportunities in that first period, and part of that's just got to be fatigue, don't you think?
Oh yeah, this is definitely fatigue. LTU is an incredibly fast team, and head coach Brennan Martin is opting to go with those quick shifts for this Central Michigan team, but with as quick as those shifts are going, they seem to be even more tired with those quick shifts because you barely get a rest.
Yeah, you barely get a rest, and you barely get time to get your mojo going. And for LTU, they're just such a disciplined team, a fast team, and it shows as they've dominated the shot category 17-14 here through the opening 20 minutes. Interesting little fact, when CMU has taken on the likes of GVSU and Michigan State. They've allowed 50-plus shots in 3 of those games. They almost allowed 50 a week ago against Maryville, but were 3 short of that. But it's been a dominant performance, and as good as the Central Michigan power play has been, Michael, that's the one thing that allowed LTU to score here.
It was, Reagan. They have a stout Central Michigan try to get off on the right foot on that power play after going 33% on the weekend, but an errant pass intercepted by Will Jensen. He's not going to miss many of those. He just rifled it past Caleb Bowlery, so could have been much worse. Lots of chances for LTU. Only 1 goal on the board for them, as is for Central Michigan. Good way to be knotted up at 1. And Caleb Bowlery, he's faced a lot of shots and a lot of pressure, so CMU will have to continue to do a good job of getting bodies out in front as they've done so far in this first 20 minutes.
Yeah, and Bowlery's looked good, but again, doesn't help you when your defense gives up a pass right into the slot, deposits it right to the opponent, who steps in with plenty of time and space and rips one past you. So credit to Caleb Bowlery, 16 shots in the opening frame. It's a lot of shots to face in just a 20-minute span. 1-1 the score after 20 minutes. We'll step aside. Michael Rosenkrantz will return with the out-of-town scoreboard here on CCHN. It's 1-1 here, entering the second period.
Back here at Redford Ice Arena, Michael Rosenkrantz with you for the out-of-town scoreboard as your Central Michigan Chippewas and Lawrence Tech Blue Devils are knotted up at 1 apiece after 20 minutes. Taking a look first, as always, with some Chippewa hockey. The men's Division II team is active tonight against the men's Division III team of the Ferris State Bulldogs, who Central Michigan took on back in September to open their season. The M2 Chippewas will take on the Bulldogs tonight at 9:30 from Ava Glaben Ice Arena, and they'll return to Mount Pleasant on Saturday to Martin Ice Arena to have a 7:30 puck drop from the Refrigerator on Remus. The Women's Division II team is also active this weekend. They will take on Eastern Michigan tomorrow evening at 7:10 p.m. If you remember, back in September, late September, on the 28th actually, it was Eastern Michigan that came into Martin Ice Arena and upset Central Michigan with a 3-2 win back in the latter month of September. So Central Michigan will look to take revenge on that loss from their very first regular season game in the 24-25 campaign. Taking a look at some other sports around CMU athletics, cross country is at the NCAA Great Lakes Regional in Norton, Ohio. So that continues to be updated in terms of live stats. You can go to cmuchippewas.com to follow that trend and those live stats. Volleyball team in action tonight at Akron to close out their season. They're set to begin the match in about 20 minutes time from Ohio. It's the last regular season matches for Central Michigan. They sit 1 game out of first place behind Bowling Green, who the Chippewas took care of at McGurk Arena. So if Bowling Green were to lose one of those games, Central Michigan would have the tiebreaker over them and they would slide into first. So it's all going to be the big question of who's going to host the upcoming MAC tournament. It'll be a very interesting series to keep your eyes on. Wrestling also in action tonight at McGurk Arena versus Indiana for their first match of the season under new head coach Ben Bennett, replacing the great Tom Borelli for this wrestling team. That match is slated to begin at 7 p.m., just about an hour and 20 minutes from now. In terms of men's basketball, they had a big win at George Mason on Wednesday. 70-69 the final score. Demarion Bonds with the clutch three-pointer from the left wing to get the Chippewas a much-needed win on the road. Their next game, they'll take on Central State on Wednesday, this upcoming Wednesday at 7 p.m. They return home to McGurk Arena, so hopefully Central Michigan can get a good homecoming that day. Women's basketball is going to be in action on Sunday against Bradley. That game is slated to tip off at 1 p.m. The women's team coming off of a tough loss to Michigan on Thursday, 99-62. But it was also a game in which Jess Lawson, one of the transfers that Central Michigan got out of Las Vegas, tallied her 1,000th career point in the maroon and gold. A big congratulations to Jess Lawson, as she will continue to do great things in a maroon and gold uniform to round out her basketball career. Football was in action against Toledo last week. They lost 37-10, which puts the Chippewas out of bowl eligibility and also locks up 3 straight back-to-back losing seasons for Central Michigan. But turning the attention to upcoming on Tuesday is the rivalry game against Western Michigan. They're coming to Kelly Shorts for the Victory Cannon. That game is slated to kick off at 7:30 from Kelly Shorts Stadium. And finally, taking a look around the ACHA Top 10 at their upcoming matchups. Number 1, Air Force is going to take on Colorado College on December 2nd, so lots of time in between for both those teams to prepare for one another. Number 2, Hope will be taking on Michigan Friday and Saturday. Certainly a contest to keep your eyes on. Hope will take on Calvin next week. Number 3, Calvin will be taking on Michigan State today and tomorrow. And as mentioned, they'll take on Hope next week. So the number 2 and number 3 seeds will go at it in the ACHA Top 10. Oakland, already touched upon, they were going to play Akron. Akron forfeit the weekend due to travel concerns. Understandable. And they will take on... Pardon me, they'll take on... Tough to read here who's on the schedule for Oakland. We'll get to that to you in just a second. Michigan is taking on Hope today and tomorrow, and Michigan won't play again until December 6th and 7th when they take on IUP. LTU and CMU clashing right now. Lawrence Tech will take on Adrian next Friday and Sunday for a home-and-home series at LTU and Arrington. GVSU at number 7. They are off this weekend, but they will take on Davenport next weekend. Notre Dame sits at number 8. They're also off this weekend, but they'll take on Northwestern on Saturday, the 27th of... Rather, that would probably be the Saturday, the 23rd of November. UC Irvine sits at number 9. They take on Arizona State on today and tomorrow, and this is UC Irvine's last game until the new year in 2025. They won't take the ice again until January 10th. And finally, Colby College sits at the number 10 seed. They'll take on Central Maine Community College in their matchup, and they will turn around quickly with a contest against UMass on Sunday. That's it for your first intermission report. Central Michigan and Lawrence Tech knotted up at 1 apiece. When we return, Reagan Cleaves will have the play-by-play for you with period number 2. From Redford Ice Arena, you're listening to CCHN Radio Ringside at Redford Ice Arena. CMU and LTU knotted up 1-1.
Period 2 just about to get underway here at Redford Ice Arena. Reagan Cleaves back inside the broadcast booth here with Michael Rosenkrantz. Happy to have you all along with us here on this Friday evening. You know, there's a lot of places you could be, but we're happy that you've joined us here on this, was it third Friday in November? Yeah, third Friday in November.
Third Friday in November.
It's our third series in November. We're just about set to go. A decent first period for Central Michigan in terms of outcome. 1-1, you come out of it, you come back from that shorthanded tally early in that period. You come back and tie it, and you come into the second period tied 1-1 against a very, very good LTU team.
Absolutely, Reagan. And again, you touch on it earlier. Central Michigan against these ranked teams have had the Achilles heel of digging themselves an early hole very early in these contests. LTU getting the first shorthanded goal very quickly into the game. But Ryan Grohl at around the 4-minute mark in the first period was able to respond how the Chippewas should, and it's knotted up at 1-1. Second period action should be a fun one here.
3 of Central Michigan's wins have come when they've been tied after one. We'll see what this period holds in store for us this afternoon. Central Michigan quickly back to their own end, much like LTU started that first period. They're in quickly, but they're stymied at the line. Hutton tried to chip it on ahead. Hop had it knocked off his stick, and CMU once again pressured right back in their own zone. This LTU forecheck hemming Central Michigan in through the first 30 seconds. They're unable to break out. They finally do, and they play it along the far hash mark. Centering feed there from Hop. Came up to the point for Martin. Couldn't keep it in. Pressured, though, by Groves, and it's pinned along the boards just outside the LTU line to our left. CMU working right to left. Here in the second period, maroon road uniforms with yellow trim. LTU left to right in the white and blue. They've taken the silver out of their uniforms, which I think is a little bit of a downgrade, but still sharp with that big, broad blue band across the chest. Here's Barnes across that line, steps in with a shot, and boy, that was going a half mile wide. And Caleb Woolery stuck out that glove and held on with minute 8 gone in the second period.
Yeah, I wonder if it would have been a little smarter for Caleb Woolery to let that shot go, but doesn't always hurt to try and make a save if you think it's coming right in on you, especially at point-blank range.
Barnes on the season, only 5 goals, but 12 assists coming into the night. The sophomore out of Livonia. Played for Stevenson High School. Senior here, played 24 games at 26 points. He's always been a big contributor on the Apple side of things. Nick Kuhn shovels this out to center on the face-off win, but quickly sent back in by Gavin Holmes. Gilgren will play it off the glass and down the ice. Icing waved off. It was deflected, so LTU will gather in their own end. Lead pass through center, tipped on ahead by Gents. Here's Holmes across that line, centering feed to Gents. He's got it, tried to go to the backhand left circle, couldn't do so. Fired around the boards, almost hit the referee, kept to the left point by Wright. He fires that on goal. It was blocked in the left circle, and it's cleared back out to the neutral zone here by the Chippewas. Walker stepping right back in, the captain for LTU, weaving his way around the outside. Held up in the corner, centering feed, but it went right on Woolery. He's able to glove it and hold on with 18:02 remaining in the second period.
Really nifty centering feed attempt. That was poked right at the left corner of Caleb Woolery. Had to quickly cover up. That could have been a dangerous centering feed, Reagan.
Yeah, it could have been a dangerous centering feed indeed, but Caleb Woolery, quick with the stick, quick with the glove, able to corral it. Another face off to his left. Radu to dig in with Bottles. Bottles wins it. Bowerson controls in the corner. Chipped it up the wing. They battle for it along the hash marks. It's a 2-on-2 battle. Radu, Walsh, Armentrout, Bowerson. Armentrout holding that about as well as you can along the boards, and they're still battle away for it. Eventually LTU pulls it free. Shot from the right point, blocked. Walsh centered it on the backhand. Cut off though. Rand gets to the loose puck. Drifting up the wall, he backhands it down behind the net. And it's forwarded on ahead, tied up along the half boards across the way. Clements fishes it down low. Bowerson, though, looking to turn up. Once again, Armentrout pins it to the boards. It's pulled free. Rand racing after it, and it's poked out to neutral ice here by Clements. Period of the long change, though. Central Michigan, though, having to keep their Defensive pairing out there. Bottles wreaking havoc at the LTU line. Forces a turnover. Can't get to the loose puck, though. And the Blue Devils will chip it out to the blue line. Kept alive, though, by Armdrop. Bottles sipping in a shot. Save Young. Rebound. Put just wide there by Hutton. Clements across the way. Centered it. Bishop picked it off. Backed it up to the point. Slapped down, though, by Bowerson left side. LTU able to get it out through neutral ice. Dahl had it chopped away for him by Grolo as the only goal for Central Michigan here in this one. We're tied at 1, as we have been since the 3:59 mark of the first. Miller tied up with his man across the way. Miller gets hauled down. Now Julian Johnson off to the races. He coughed it up. Clements couldn't keep it in. He's going to be offside here as he chips it into the zone. 3:45 gone, second period. This is deflected in on Woolery by his own man, Bowerson. And we'll have a stoppage of play with 16:09 remaining in the second period.
Good awareness there by Caleb Woolery to pick up that puck after the out deflection off of Bowerson. Yes, and just a little bit of a correction for you folks in that intermission report. Oakland will take on CMU next week, and I don't know why I had a difficulty reading that, but yes, it's Oakland and CMU next weekend when the Golden Grizzlies start divisional play.
To his credit, Michael is reading my handwriting. I scrawled that on our script coming down on the bus, so if you're going to blame anybody, Michael, blame me. Draw to the left here of Woolery. It'll be Grove to dig in here against Gibbs.
Either way, I should have known that, Reagan.
Gibbs is able to tie up his man, but Oda pulls it free. Oda backed it up the wall, intercepted by Jace Johnson. He'll rifle it around the boards and back out to center. With 4 minutes gone here in the second period, Chippewas and Blue Devils tied at 1. Gibbs along the near side boards, trying to work things out for CMU. His clearing attempt past a Hop, hit his skate. The Hop had to circle back, and that allows LTU to gain control at the neutral zone and put it back into the offensive end. Behind his net, Martin clears it off the glass and out to center down the ice. Gibbs racing after it, rubs Barnes out behind the net. He in turn gets rubbed out, and it's played back out to the point. Kept alive, swung to the near side by Martin for Hutton. Hutton puts it deep. Behind the net, Jace Johnson trying to push it free. Hop laying the body down on DRC. It's eventually pulled free, though. DRC still doing a good job to put a stop to things behind the goal. Swung around the boards by LTU, kept in the line by Martin, skies it off the glass behind the goal, and it'll be played near side by Gibbs. He fed it out into the slot after Young made the save, and away come the Blue Devils. Grove with speed, long dump in on Woolery. He plays it up off of his stick and out of play over what has got to be the shortest all-encompassing glass I have ever seen at a hockey rink.
This is a really short, encompassing glass, Reagan. It didn't have to reach up too high, especially for the ice mics when to set up those. But, yeah, this is relatively very low glass for a barn like this.
Yeah, very. If you're wanting a historical reference, think about 1950s National Hockey League. This is the height of this glass, maybe only 4 or 5 feet above the boards. And that goes all the way around the glass. It doesn't raise up behind the nets like you see at most facilities, including Martin Ice Arena, but this is just clear 4 or 5 feet all the way around the zone. And this one didn't matter, though, as it's deflected a good 20 feet up out of play. Nick Kuhn, good job by him to get the stick to it.
And I want to go back to a time, Reagan, where Central Michigan had it in their own end. You saw all 5 of LTU's players in the offensive zone. Their forechecking pressure has been stout tonight.
Indeed, it has been stout. CMU, though, been stolid on the defense. Gents works it up to the point, and here's a shot. That was blocked. Gents gets it right back right corner. Dancing down behind the net, worked over here by Morgan. His clearing attempt knocked down by Holmes. Holmes centering feed. Gents tried to backhand it on goal. Chopped away at it. Comes up to the slot. Here's a shot. Save Woolery. Couldn't gobble it up, and the rebound is cleared away by CMU. But this is going to go all the way for an icing against the Chippewas here with 14:04 to go.
This is a tired group for Central Michigan. As we look over on the ice, Connor Morgan at the far half wall just doubling over in fatigue. This is a tired group for Central Michigan. LTU, such a fast team. Central Michigan will have to look for a quick change here should they get out of their own zone and try not to ice the puck because those 5 are tired.
Yeah. We have a face-off violation here. Both centermen are going to be sent out here, I believe, or indeed it's only going to be Radu. So Walsh comes in to replace him. And Morgan wins the draw nonetheless, despite those distractions. And it's cleared out by CMU on the near side. No, Nick Kuhn quickly on the forecheck, able to knock it away. He's in over the line left side, cuts in a nice shot. He snapped it just high. Gilgren spilling over the boards. Make sure no too many men. Here's a shot, save Young. A rebound deflected just wide. Morgan couldn't get a ton on that shot, and he just tapped it wide. Big opportunity there for CMU, possibly the biggest of the night. Look out, a giveaway. Walsh right in. He's rifled that one wide. He's got it, though, behind the net. Trying to pull it free. Bottles defensively for CMU. Get to the point, not out. Bishop unable to control it. Barnes kept it in. Pushed down low. Here's Rand. Rand working behind the goal. Pressured by Bottles. Bottles able to clear up the wall. Barnes kept it in left point. Old put on the brakes multiple times. A shot there from. Hit a couple bodies. Now it's fed out in front. Woolery, watch that go behind him. Cleared out by the Chippewas. Bottles working up the left wing. Hauled down by Stepanek, and no penalty is going to be called on either team. Refs are letting the boys play tonight, that's for sure. Only one penalty in this game that went early on to Pedersen. Now a centering feed. Central Michigan couldn't tap it home. And it's worked back behind the LTU net. Lofted through center. That hit a rafter, and some insulation comes falling down. Andrew Miller underneath it gives the ceiling a look. And we'll play on.
A little bit of insulation falling down. This is a very cold rink. It comes up for question, Reagan. You think Martin Ice Arena or Redford's colder? Because this is a cold barn.
This is a cold barn, but I mean, frankly, I haven't been down for a game in the freezer part of Martin for a long time. Last time we called a game from down there was middle of last year.
Yeah.
And it's been a long time since I've called a game from the base of Martin, from the floor of Martin. And look out, Andrew Miller trying to pull a puck free in the slot, knocked away. And away comes Groves. But that's Genzel looking to the outside, lost the puck, tried to center it out in front, but a sea of bodies deflected into the point. Here's a spin-around shot wide of Woolery, rebound behind the net. Big space behind the nets here at Redford. Maybe good 8 to 10 feet. Like the old NHL, lots of room to work back there, but LTU can't do anything with it. They're chased back to their own end here with Giordano. And a lead pass ahead, deflected right onto the stick of Devin Genzel. He's across that line, stepping in the right circle. A shot saved by Woolery. Nifty glove hand save there by the sophomore netminder out of Grand Rapids, and will hold with 11:45 to go in the second.
There's been a lot of shots coming in on Caleb Woolery. He's still doing a great job at keeping those shots at bay. LTU gets another face-off in the Chippewas offensive zone.
Face off to the left of Caleb Woolery here. Isaac Gibbs stepping in here against D'Arcy. As you hear the tunes of the LTU pet band, they'll cut out as the puck is dropped. And Martin fires it around the boards after the Chippewa win. Hot got rocked there by Hernandez, who sends it in deep. Hot working up the right wing here for CMU. Stretch pass ahead. He's got Isaac Gibbs behind the defense. Working in. Isaac Gibbs cuts in. Shot. That was just wide. And we got a penalty coming up here against LTU. Woolery to the bench. Hutton steps around a man. Left circle. Shot deflected. Oda able to deflect it. Hop spin around. Shot. That just wide. Chase Johnson has it for CMU. Behind the net for Gibbs. Gibbs backhands it up to the point. Hutton's going to chase this all the way back. Lucky for the Chippewas, it's not on goal. And Hutton will control behind his own net with 11:03 to go. Delayed penalty still in effect. Long stretch pass. Hop has it. Deflected it ahead to himself. Will chase after. Tried to backhand it to a man. Hop gets hammered into the boards. And we might have another penalty coming up here as both men, one in maroon, one in white, are down on the ice. LTU finally covers, and we might have another penalty here. Good to see Hop get up. He's fired up going to the bench. And it was Guillermo Hernandez who went into the boards along with Hop. Good to see both men get up. But 10:48 to go in the second. We'll see who the penalties are and how many.
That was a very scary collision along the far boards right behind Tim Young. Glad to see both men get up and skate off to the bench. Looked to be unscathed with that one, but huge contact along the boards.
Oda's going to go to the box for the initial penalty, and we'll see if there's a second one, as both Captains Walker and Martin are going to get their explanations. Time of the penalty comes at 9:12. It's the second penalty of the game for LTU. Indeed, Hernandez is going to go, so CMU is going to get a 5-on-3, I believe. Indeed it is.
This is a big opportunity for CMU. LTU getting both penalties at 9:12. So we'll see what Central Michigan can do on the two-man advantage. That opens up the ice a little bit more. It'd be a good opportunity for head coach Brennan Martin to draw something up for Central Michigan to try and get much-needed offensive zone time, possibly put another tally on the board.
And this is a massive opportunity for Central Michigan, a full 5-on-3 here for CMU for a full 2 minutes. Not often you'll get an opportunity like this, but it's going to be a big one. As we'll have a face-off down in the LTU zone to our left. So the initial penalty on Oda. Second one, I believe that's for a trip on the Gibbs breakaway. And then, I'm surprised they didn't give him a penalty shot, or at least talk about it.
At least, yeah, because Isaac Gibbs, as soon as he was going in for that shot, the referee got his arm up just at about the point of release for Isaac Gibbs. So would have been nice to see a penalty shot, but nonetheless, you're 5-on-3.
5-on-3 for a full 2 minutes. Face-off is won by CMU and controlled by the Chippewas. Martin steps in left circle, fed a pass across. Bottles couldn't get to it. He's beaten to it by Radu. Takes it and clears it out. That's exactly what you don't want to do if you're Central Michigan. Give LTU a quick respite just 15 seconds into the two-man advantage. Radu still hard on the forecheck. Forces Central Michigan to hit the puck across the way, and it's another giveaway at the line, and this time it's Radu again. Radu, he's got the puck in the offensive end for LTU. Great forecheck here. Morgan slams Radu into the boards. That could have been boarding had he not been careful, but Radu doing a great job to pin this puck against the boards across the way. He's already cut off 45 seconds. Central Michigan has done diddly squat here on this power play. Radu, job well done as he goes to the bench. Chippewas, though, trying to push it deep, and they do. Nathan Bottles in pursuit on the Isaac Gibbs feed. Siraki pulls it free behind the net, intercepted, though, and swung around the boards. Gibbs diving after it, couldn't get to it. It's a shorthanded opportunity here for Rand. He's down the right wing side. He's got a man trailing, drops it off. Look out, a shot saved by Woolery. That came from Lossier. And a great opportunity. You'd think that with a 5-on-3, CMU would have the majority of the chances. Here comes Hop right in. Shot blocked there by Lossier. Cleared up to the point. Chippewas can't keep it in, and it comes back out to center. They put it back in deep. Barnes clears it out to the neutral zone. Hop trying to work it into the zone. Can't do so. My goodness. This has been a horrendous power play for Central Michigan. Bishop has it behind the net. Clears it up to the right point for Gilgren. He steps in near side. Slides it to Johnson. He gets it back in the return feed. Left circle, out in front. Hop works in. Shot blocked in front. And it's cleared back behind the net. Around the boards. Kept into the point, though, by Camara. Power play winding down. Out of the box. Hops both Oda and Hernandez. We're 5-on-5 now. LTU killed off the full 2-minute man advantage without so much as a blink. Now they've got the puck. They battle for it across the way. Johnson buries his man into the boards. With 8:32 to go here in the second period. We're tied 1-1. Johnson pulls it free. Fed it out in front. Couldn't connect with Hop on the backdoor feed. Hop reversed field. Johnson behind the net. Reaching it up top here for Grimes. He gets worked over at the point. Puck loose out in front. Got it back Here to Johnson. Johnson moves it up top for Camara. He's got it through traffic. Swallowed up by Young. With 8:05 to go. Boy, you can't find a much more frustrating two-man advantage than that.
Nope, and it's an incredibly frustrating feeling for Central Michigan. A 5-on-3 for a full 2 minutes, and LTU, credit Radu where credit is due. He did an unbelievable job, a single-handed effort of pinning up that puck, and for Central Michigan, it's just something that, quite frankly, can't happen with that much open ice.
Now they've got numbers off the faceoff win. Holmes across that line, 2-1-1. Feeds it to the back door, they score! Caleb Dahl makes it 2-1 LTU. 7:55 to go in the second period.
Right off a face-off draw, that's how LTU takes momentum back from Central Michigan. They kill off a 5-on-3, Caleb Dahl, and it's just textbook for LTU as Caleb Dahl gets his 7th goal on the campaign. The freshman for LTU certainly making his presence felt, and just like that at 12:05, it's 2-1 Blue Devils.
I mean, you had to see it coming. LTU generated a couple chances shorthanded, but not the last. You think you're going to get a good opportunity for Central Michigan, but just squander it, and LTU's got the lead just moments later. LTU not done yet, though. They work down the left wing, and now we have the net come off Fitzmaurice. With 7:47 to go in the second period.
Barnes picking up his 13th assist.
Was that 12 or 22?
They called that assist on 12, Gavin Holmes.
Yes, but think back to the play. I thought that was Rand streaming down the right wing.
I think it was Rand. I think
Okay.
they got the numbers mixed up. I think it was Rand going down.
Well, they both end with 2. It happens. I don't think I've ever credited a goal correctly on the ice. All 3 assists. Meanwhile, CMU, though, right back into the defensive end. It was cut up on the top of the dasher board. And Hutton comes away with it across that line right wing, but he's just offside as Julian Johnson is just a hair ahead of the play. 7:29 to go in the second period.
And you think about the chances, Reagan, that CMU had on that 5-on-3 power play, and wasn't very many chances, if much at all, because LTU was there step for step. They continued applying that forechecking pressure, which didn't even allow CMU to cycle the puck around.
Yeah, and as soon as CMU caught with the puck in the blue line, look out, an opportunity end. Gents across the line for LTU, dropped it back. Holmes in, scores! It's Holmes again. His 7th of the year, and 2 quick goals of LTU, up 3-1.
LTU is dominating this possession in this part of the contest. It's LTU getting another breakaway up the ice. Holmes leading the rush, rather Gents leading the rush, and getting the feed to Holmes, who just pokes it in on the back door, and all of a sudden it's now 3-1 Blue Devils at 12:45.
2 goals in 40 seconds for the Blue Devils. That's immediate. That's exactly what CMU did not want to happen. Now LTU's only got 4 guys on the ice. They're going to need a 5th if we want to continue play. Or actually, we got a power play for Central Michigan. Maybe an unsportsmanlike coming after. Indeed. So another power play for CMU. Hopefully they can get something going here on the man advantage at 12:45.
I think it was an unsportsmanlike contact after the goal was scored. Just a little bit of chirping back and forth, or a little bit of contact on Central Michigan.
Here's Camara stepping in. Shot saved by Young. That was a near thing. He tried to put it top left corner, but Young was able to get the blocker to it.
Good initiative there by Sam Camara. Sorry about that, Reagan.
Hey, you're good. Go ahead.
And good initiative there by Sam Camara, able to try and pick that top left corner and try and get Central Michigan some early momentum in this power play, because they desperately need it after that 5-on-3.
Holmes getting his 7th of the year. had a 4-game point streak snapped last weekend against Trine, but he gets on the board here to put his team up 3-1. We hear Holmes from Gents over the PA. 6:40 to go, and the Chippewas again trying to break out on the power play. They dump it in, but quickly first to the puck is Tate Wright. He shovels it around the boards, cleared out by Barnes, and another tough start to the power play for CMU. They haven't gotten anything going through the first 50 seconds, now turned to a minute. Gilgren has to put on the brakes from pressure from Radu. And a stretch pass, rink wide near side for Johnson. Will deflect it up and out of play. Johnson, frustrated, slams his stick. And he's going to go off to the bench frustrated.
Tough look there for Jace Johnson. If you look right across the ice, he did have an open man on the far side. I'd like to see a pass over in that direction, but Jace Johnson is trying to deflect it into the offensive zone, but instead puts it up into the netting.
Face off at center. Morgan to dig in here with Nick Oda. Oda able to tie up his man, though. Siraki comes in to pick up the loose change. It'll be spun around on the near side boards. Play back underway, 48 seconds to go in the power play. Stripped away, here's Rand down the left wing with Martin pressuring. Martin able to use the stick to poke that puck away. They go to the far boards, where it's controlled here by Bottles. Ahead on left wing for Siraki. He steps across that line, dropped it back for Morgan. Pinwheels at the top of the circle. He'll work it back to the left point. Saucer to pass over to Gibbs. Gibbs will spin around, try to put it deep, but Oda turned it over. Oda working in with it short-handed. His shot was saved by Woolery. Here's Bottles working up the left wing for the Chippewas. With 13 seconds left in the power play, tried to jam it short side, saved by Young. 9 seconds to go. Bottles slammed to the boards by Guillermo Hernandez. Hernandez able to pull it free and chop it down the ice with 2 seconds to go. Just been a frustrating night for the Chippewa power play, and now they give it away in their own end right after the power play expires. They take it back, though. Isaac Gibbs working out through center will deflect it on in with 5 minutes exactly to go here in the second period. Stay with us for the intermission report. That's when I'll recap the game and then have a look at our professional out-of-town scoreboard. Puck back in the LTU end. The pass ahead deflected out to the neutral zone. Clements batted it down. He's across that line left side. He'll pull up along the half wall, trying to spin free with it. And he's tied up by Gents. Rolo pushed it deep. So did Julian Johnson. They get it down low, but it's whacked back out to center. And Clements will try to chip it on in. Clements dipsy-doodling around Radu. Lost the puck, though, and it's chopped back out by the aforementioned LTU number 23. And now a penalty coming up on CMU here, it looks like. Look out, Radu behind the defense on the delayed penalty. Works in, shot save, Woolery, rebound! Controlled by the netminder, he holds on. As Stepanek was right on the doorstep, but a penalty coming up to the Chippewas, their first of the night with 4:06 to go.
The Chippewas have played relatively disciplined hockey, say that 5 times fast. And they're going to go to the PK for their first time of the night, but you haven't had to worry so much about Central Michigan taking any penalties in this game. They've stayed disciplined. And for their first penalty, it's going to be Julian Johnson going off for the Chippewas at 15:54, appears to be.
The 15:54, the time of the penalty. The difference in this game has certainly been special teams. CMU hasn't been able to get anything going. Meanwhile, LTU has been able to get plenty of chances shorthanded. Sargent won just moments ago from Nick Oda. Now CMU on the penalty kill. Face off to the left of Woolery, won by the Chippewas. They able to pin it up along the boards near side. They are able to win it, the battle in the corner that is, and send it down the ice with 1:50 to go. Only 10 seconds killed off, but you'll take as much time as you can. LTU 10 goals on 31 opportunities this season. Crisp 31%. Central Michigan on the PK, 78. Look out, Jets has it near side. A backdoor feed, they score. Alex Grove deposits it on the back door. A wide open cage. It's 4-1 in the power play.
Great look there from Will Jens to Alex Grove. Sophomore linking up to sophomore. Will Jens has been making his presence felt all over the ice, and for Alex Grove, that's his fourth goal on the campaign. Nothing too much Woolery can do on that one. Another textbook backdoor feed with the quick rush for the Blue Devils. It's 4-1.
There's nothing Woolery can do on that. Central Michigan's going to take a timeout. We'll take one as well. 3:40 remaining in the second period. More play-by-play action coming your way next here on CCHN. Second period coming your way live here at Redford Ice Arena. Reagan Cleves, Michael Rosenkrantz in a 4-1 LTU game. Three of those four goals for the Blue Devils have come in the last 4 minutes. Goals 40 seconds apart at 12:05 and 12:45, and now a goal 26 seconds into the power play for LTU. Sees them up 4-1. This will be chipped up out of play back in the CMU end. But boy, the special teams have just been vexing for Central Michigan here tonight, Michael. 0 for 4 on the power play, 0 for 1 on the penalty kill. And those power plays weren't even competitive half the time.
No, they weren't, Reagan, especially go back to that 5-on-3. I know you harp on it repeatedly, but that much open ice, those chances for LTU can't happen.
Isaac Gibbs better be careful, doesn't pick up an extra cross-checking penalty. He hammered DRC, and now Hutton's going to go. Hutton's going to go to the box, and now do we have a second power play here? It looked like the referee was signaling 2 penalties, but we'll see. So Hutton's to the box at least. Now they're going to send Isaac Gibbs too, indeed, so it's going to be a full 5-on-3.
Both teams trading full 5-on-3s. Lucas Hutton brings his man to the boards.
Well, is it going to be a 5-on-3 or is it a 5-on-4 with a misconduct? No, it is going to be a 5-on-3. So Gibbs off for unsportsmanlike. Hutton off for another penalty. Didn't catch the signal. Both those coming at 16:41. Big opportunity for LTU to blow this game wide open. They win the faceoff. They control far side. Holmes back up top, controlled here. The near side for Gents. Right circle down the wall. A centering feed knocked away by a defensive stick of Gilgren, but it's back behind the net for Dahl. He's already got a goal tonight. Worked it back up to Gents near side. We'll put on the brakes on the power play back up top here for Losier. Losier near side Dahl. Centering feed. Holmes right in the back door. Sent it out in front. Gents. What a save by Woolery. He came diving over. Now he's tied up with a man in front. And it's cleared up to the point. Chippewas unable to clear it. Cut across. Here's Gents. Circling his way to the top. Wandering near side. He gets it there to Redo. Pardon me. That's Losier. Losier, the defenseman, back up to Gents. Gents wandering down the wall. Gents wide open, right wing circle, tried to get it past Camara. Camara will deflect it away, chip it into the corner, tried to get it out, but it was knocked away from him by Gents. Fed back across the way for Holmes. A minute gone in this 5-on-3. Back up top. Here's Losier, stepping in, shot, snapped it wide, rebound across the way. It's chopped down behind the net. Gents off for a change. Redu comes on, gets the puck. Back up at the point. Across, Dahl back near side. Here for Losier, back across, a shot save. That shot came from Holmes on the one-timer 37 seconds ago. Chippewas unable to clear it again. Losier puts it down low. Camara defending the pass. In the shot save by Woolery. Denying Dahl once again. LTU playing with abandon in the offensive end on this 5-on-3. Here's Radu stepping in, shot safe. Woolery rebound couldn't be controlled there by Barnes in the left circle. He gets it back though, near side. Losier stepping in, shot blocked by Kamara. Came up into his padding, but back down onto the ice. Losier has it at the point. Across for Holmes, stepping in, 7 to go in the 5-on-3. A pass across. That couldn't be deflected home. Walsh puts it behind the boards for Radu, gets it back. Holmes, Walsh snapped it high. And now Radu controls across the way. 5-on-3 over. CMU survived it, but they got to get out of their own zone now. Gibbs blocked that shot. Another opportunity by Walker. He blasted that on goal. Saved by Wooler. Another opportunity. Deflected in front. Walker made the save, and Bottles comes away with the puck. The loft is out to center. Walker, though, batted it down with under a minute to go in this second period. Played on ahead, 4-1 LTU. They just couldn't convert on a 5-on-3. And now it's cleared down the ice by Isaac Gibbs. This will go far enough for icing with 43 seconds to go. And that finally gives us a time to take a look at this date in Chippewas history. Back on this date, Central Michigan on a Friday game down in Florida. Entered the second period down by 1, but they rattled off 4 goals in the middle frame to grab a 5-3 win against Florida Gulf Coast. Michael Schwanke made 25 saves in the victory. Dalton Sutherland scored twice and collected an assist. That was the first of a 2-game set down in Estero. CMU picked up a 5-3 win on Friday. Now face-off down in the CMU end. They're unable to control. Isaac Gibbs hammering his man down into the corner. He's going to pick up a penalty. He was cross-checking his man multiple times. That's Nick Yoda, and rightfully so. Isaac Gibbs is going to go off here. He's complaining to the referee, but he just can't take multiple cross-checks down on the man prone on the ice.
LTU going to go back on the power play again, and that speaks to the discipline again for the Central Michigan team. Now they're starting to rack up those penalties in a tough spot to be in. They're down 3 goals and letting the frustration get to them, and can't happen this late in the game.
LTU scored 26 seconds into their opening power play, but could not convert on a full 2-minute 5-on-3. They're back on the power play here with 30 seconds to go in the period. They win the offensive zone face-off and they work it back. To the point, here's Losier. His shot was deflected wide. It's controlled by Walsh in the corner. Near side for Gents. Gents controls back at the point for Losier. Across there back for Holmes. Back to the near side for Gents. Gents controls along the half-board. Srocky turned to the side and sends it down the ice with 10 seconds to go in the period. Tim Young way out of his net. He can send this back out to center to avoid some pressure. It'll bounce around at center ice, and Connor Morgan took a flying elbow hit at Losier there, and he's going to come away without a penalty. So Chippewas, they enter the second period shorthanded. They could be even more shorthanded here at the end of 40 minutes.
Tough second period for CMU, Reagan. You're starting to see them knock up those penalties, and LTU, credit LTU, they've been such a fast team and a dominant team, and all 3 of their goals coming on backdoor feeds, so nothing Caleb Woolery can do about that there. Just textbook stuff from LTU, and the ice is tilting in the favor of the Blue Devils. They've been dominant in this head-to-head series. They look to come away with another stout performance here tonight.
Indeed. 3 goals in the second from LTU. We'll recap those when we come back. 4-1 the score after 2 here from Redford. Second intermission underway here at Redford Ice Arena. We bring you back inside the broadcast booth. Reagan Cleese, Michael Rosencrantz with you here in Redford, just about 15 minutes outside the LTU campus in Southfield. It's frustrating second period there for Central Michigan, Michael. They get a couple of early power plays. There are a couple of power plays about halfway through that period, including a 5-on-3, but they couldn't get anything going on the power play. And right after that 5-on-3 was killed, LTU comes down the ice and scores.
Yeah, Reagan, it's not at all what you want to see for Central Michigan. So much open ice on that 5-on-3. You think there'd be so many chances you'd be able to generate and the Chippewas be able to cycle the puck. LTU keeps on with that forechecking pressure to disrupt Central Michigan, and they didn't allow any chances for Central Michigan on that 5-on-3. Huge credit to them. And LTU, with that momentum in their favor, is when they're getting their breakaways down the ice and doing their next 3 goals, all backdoor feeds. Textbook, and nothing Caleb Woolery can do about that. And those three quick goals in the second period is why the LTU Blue Devils lead 4-1.
Yeah, Caleb Dahl got the first tally of the period on a nifty feed from Rand. Rand worked down the right wing circle, tried to feed it out in front. He found Dahl right on the back door. And again, nothing Caleb Woolery can do on that 2-on-1. And much the same with the Holmes goal moments later. At 12:45, just 40 seconds after the Dahl goal, made it 2-1 at that point. Holmes made it 3-1. And then Grove added on to the power play tally just 26 seconds into the odd man advantage to make it a 4-1 hockey game. Power play certainly the difference in this one. LTU 1 for 3, CMU 0 for 4, including that power play early on in the first period. But the shorthanded tally that gave LTU the lead was just indicative of what was to come here in this one. It's been a tough period, and the Chippewas in the last 5 minutes took 4 penalties.
Yeah, it's a quick succession of penalties for Central Michigan, and it's tough when you're down 3 goals and those frustrations start to boil over, but at the same time you got to keep yourselves disciplined and try to claw yourselves back in it. But again, you touch on it, those penalties in that quick stretch of time, that's not going to get you any closer.
Yeah, and even without those penalties, Central Michigan is struggling to generate chances offensively. They have 4 shots in that first period, only 5 in that second. Shots are 35-9. LTU up by a factor of 5, Michael. It's been a tough game for Central Michigan. It's only going to get tougher from here. They can't make any adjustments here in the third period. We'll step aside. Third period play-by-play coming up next. But first, a look at the out-of-town scoreboard. Michael will return, and we'll talk about the Griffins, Spirit, and the Red Wings here on CCHN.
Back here at Redford Ice Arena, Mike Rosencrantz with you for the second intermission report. Taking a look at the professional out-of-town scoreboard as your Central Michigan Chippewas are down on the Lawrence Tech Blue Devils by a score of 4-1. Grand Rapids Griffins are in action tonight versus Chicago. That game will start at 7 o'clock tonight before they will take a trip back to Milwaukee tomorrow evening for another 7 o'clock puck drop. The Grand Rapids Griffins, they're doing well so far. They're second in the division, third in their conference, and they beat Rockford 5-2 on Wednesday for their third straight win. Lots of success for the Griffins so far. They look to continue that tonight. Bob Kaiser and Larry Federski will have the call for you on Wood Radio 1300 and 106.9 FM. And you can watch it on the big screen on AHL TV. What is with me in the tongue twisters today? On Flow Hockey. The Spirit are also in action versus Erie later tonight at 7:05, just about 30 minutes from now. And the Spirit, they have three straight wins as well. They're 5-5 in their last 10 games. So starting 2-5, not on the right foot for the Spirit, but able to claw back, get 3 straight wins, and they're on the up and up. In terms of that, they beat Flint in the I-75 Divide Cup 7-2 and 7-5 last weekend, so outscoring of 14-7 of the Flint Firebirds. So lots of success there for the Saginaw Spirit. Dylan Clark has that one for you on the radio at 100.5 WSGW and on the big screen at CHL TV. The Red Wings continue their West Coast road trip tonight against the Anaheim Ducks in Anaheim. That puck drop, a late one tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Pacific Time. The Red Wings had a big 3-2 overtime win against Pittsburgh on Wednesday. Two teams that are struggling and were basically just looking to get points. Simon Edvinson coming up big to get the Red Wings their overtime win in the Atlantic Division. You can listen to that one on the radio. Ken Cal and Paul Woods will have the call for you on 97.1 The Ticket and on the big screen at FanDuel Sports Detroit, where it's Ken Daniels and Mickey Redmond giving you the commentary. That'll just about do it for this second intermission report. Central Michigan trails Lawrence Tech by a score of 4-1. When we come back, Reagan Cleaves will have the play-by-play for you in the third period. Final 20 minutes of play coming up from Redford Ice Arena. Central Michigan trails 4-1.
We're back here for period number 3. The play-by-play presented by SeamishIceHockey.com. Reagan Cleaves and Michael Rosenkrantz here from Redford Ice Arena. CMU down 4-1 at the end of 40 minutes of play, and they enter the third period shorthanded with Isaac Gibbs being whistled off at the 19:29 mark for a cross-check. We're set to go. CMU left to right. In the road maroon uniforms, the Blue Devils right to left as they go to work on the power play here as we get underway. Nathan Bottles chips this into the offensive end. Will wheel back defensively here, though, as the Blue Devils will move out. Across the line right wing, Gavin Holmes pulls up in the corner, dishes it back up top for Lossier. Near side for Gents. He's at the point across for Lossier again. Whole wheel at the right point, sent to the near side for Holmes along the hash marks. Can't control it. He'll flip it down behind the net, though. Dahl back up to the point here for Lossier. Near side, Holmes, a one-time blast, was snapped just wide. LTU gets it back, though, on the power play. Lossier, high slot shot, deflected out in front. Woolery made the save, and he gobbles up the rebound with 19:11 remaining here in the third period.
Good way for Central Michigan to kill off the first 48 seconds of this power play. LTU getting some good chances, but good awareness right at the 20-minute mark by Nathan Bottles as he gets that puck into the LTU zone to kill off the first few seconds.
It's the importance of winning those face-offs, as we've seen Central Michigan unable to do. They lose this one, but blowing a tire at the line was Sawyer Walker. We'll get the pass from Barnes, and LTU will try and break out here. With just 30 seconds to go on the power play. Up the right wing is Radu. Radu's with speed, wheels around across the line, drops it back to the left point for Barnes. Barnes slides it across for Walker. He did fire a shot deflected over top the goal. It'll be cleared out on the near side, down the ice. And Tim Young will retreat out of his net and backhand it around the boards. At the neutral zone, Devin Yenzel will motor over the line right wing. Hammered to the boards by Camara. But the loose puck will be taken by Siraki and flipped out. Isaac Gibbs out of the penalty box. CMU has killed off the power play. They're now on the penalty kill. 3 for 4, pardon. There's only one power play goal has come for LTU. This is sent down the ice. Icing is going to be waved off as Clement was right there to play it, but he just flat out missed it. He's back, though, defensively for CMU. Chips it up the right wing wall into the offensive zone. It'll be hammered around the boards. There by LTU. They get it to the point and out. Here comes Tommy Walsh through center. Walsh had his dump and go off the linesman. And so it'll be controlled here by Grove at the offensive blue line for LTU. Will be tied up at the line, dump it in. Clements will play it off the boards and across the way for Hop. He'll backhand that into the Chippewa bench with 17:36 to go here in the third.
Starting to see Central Michigan come with a little more initiative out of that locker room in the third period. They're getting to those pucks in their own zone. Granted, they're not as getting a lot of chances in the offensive zone as it's sort of been that way the entire game, but you're starting to see a little more pep in their step coming out of the locker room.
Certainly a little bit more pep in their step. No doubt aided by that 15-minute rest period, but the Chippewas, they've been able to dump the puck a couple times. Now Jace Johnson chasing after a loose puck in the right wing circle. Sidesteps a check from Oda, but in the process turns over the puck. Gibbs, though, causes a turnover at the blue line. Tried to dish it deep, but it was collected and sent out by Nick Oda. 4-1 Central Michigan trails, and now a penalty coming up on LTU. It's going to be Alex Grove, I believe, off for interference or a rough. Either way, it's going to be 2 minutes here for LTU in the box.
Yeah, it's just standing up, his own man was Alex Grove, it appears to be. Central Michigan back on the power play. This has been an interesting tilt, Reagan, because it's been all LTU on the CMU power play.
Yeah, each time the Chippewas have been on the power play, we saw a shorthanded goal just a minute and 46 seconds in on the Chippewa power play. but now they win the faceoff. Spin around shot from the right point, high of goal. Rebound comes across the way where it's cleared out to neutral ice. Isaac Gibbs at his own blue line, up the wing to Bottles, across that line, dropped it off for Gibbs, across, tried to find Siraki, it's loose, out in front, but Bottles got tied up, it was in his feet, he had a gaping cage in front of him, but couldn't connect. LTU gets it out to the neutral zone, they'll fire it on in and go off for changes. With a minute and 30 to go. Here in this power play. Bottles can't get it in, cut off by Walker. Morgan back at his own blue line, slides it across Siraki, centered on the head to Bottles, who'll race after it. Tim Young comes all the way out of his net to play it, but nobody back there for LTU. Out through center, Radu stepping over the line, coughed up the puck, and Connor Morgan will wheel with it, move left to right here in this third period. He's across the line, pressure to the boards, hammered into the bench, but look out, Hop tried to push it deep for Bishop, but that couldn't go. Morgan shaken up as he goes to the bench. Bodies collide along the boards near his side. Johnson worked it up to Camara, right point. He'll walk the line. Let's enter a shot on. Saved by Young. Rebound controlled. Centering feed knocked away, though, by LTU. And they'll lift it down the ice. We'll keep an eye on Connor Morgan as he went off to the bench a little shaken up.
Did a scary hit for Connor Morgan, laboring a bit as he went to the bench.
Almost got knocked into the LTU bench. Now Jace Johnson with speed, cutting in a shot. Great play by Barnes to knock that puck away right at the point of release, and now a couple bodies tumble behind the net as LTU clears it with just 15 seconds to go in the power play. It's been a very ineffective power play for Central Michigan tonight, though this is by far the best they've looked. Generating a couple of chances. This is going to go for icing as soon as I say that. I should stop jinxing these guys. Last week it was, hey, they look pretty good on the penalty kill, and then Drury scored. Now, they look pretty good on the power play, and now they ice it.
It'll be interesting how it comes into tomorrow, Reagan. Maybe you'll think about another jinx tomorrow for the home game against.
I don't want to jinx them anymore.
LTU, exactly.
I don't like jinxing them.
Fair enough.
I just need to pick my words better. 15:09 to go here in this third period. CMU's on the power play for another 4 seconds. They got a defensive zone faceoff now. Off the tie-up, LTU able to pull it free, but Losier had to chase it up to the point and will just retreat back out to center. As time expires, CMU now 0 for 5 on the man advantage. They draws a turnover though. Bishop into the zone, tried to drop it back to Johnson, but Johnson was skating with his stick halfway at his waist. Now Barnes the other way. Dropped it back, cutting in a shot, save Woolery. They're off of Holcam, rebound. Played across the way. LTU forces the issue in the far corner. The Chippewa end, Bowerson tries to feed it up to the point. A hammer shot will go up and out of play off of an odd carom. Went off of Chippewa, so the faceoff will stay in the zone to our left.
It was the right idea by Central Michigan with that rush, but Jace Johnson's got to get his stick down on the ice. Can't play with your stick just a touch above the ice. There's no way you're going to be able to get a good and clean shot on goal if you don't take care of the puck first.
Face off to the right. Face off violation here. Figured you'd like the serenation of the LTU band. Now they work in. Oh, a great save by Woolery, shouldering away that shot from Sawyer Walker at the point. As the LTU pep band continues to sing.
It's a great number they're doing too with here today. Not often you get to hear a pep band in a hockey barn, especially this one, and even the likes of Saginaw Valley who have their own pep band.
Yeah, not a common sight in the ACHA, that's for sure. But LTU and Saginaw Valley State, both their bands show out in force. I believe Saginaw has a much better perch in terms of their band. They're up on that little mezzanine level, the second level at Saginaw Bay. This is sent down the ice by CMU for an icing. It's 13:57 to go. And you talk about this old barn, and when it first came in, I was a little underwhelmed. The old barn dates back to 40s or 50s, not sure which, but over time, I think the atmosphere here is pretty good, and definitely more LTU vibe than Farmington Hills with the LTU logo plastered at center. They've certainly made this their own over the last couple of months. Came in over the summer, as we were talking with Ken Gaffney before the game, and in the week heading up, they've really put a lot of work into this barn, and all of it is funded themselves. No help from the school, as is the case with a lot of these ACHA programs. And they've already done at least a decent job, new paint job on the inside here. Now LTU working right in, a save by Woolery. Rebound is controlled by CMU, but they put it right up into the glass again. Now, again, the short glass, another contributor to the atmosphere of this barn. You just get old barn vibes, and it's kind of fun.
It is. It's really awesome to see kind of the older style of the barn here and just taking in all the history, especially of this building. It goes back a long time ago, and with barns like this, it just really gives you that sense and that feeling of just old-time hockey. We're going to get another stoppage in here. Might have been a violation.
Yeah, quick face-off violation. Connor Morgan gets a warning, but he'll dig back in and win the face-off. Chippewas able to clear it out, though. Nick Kuhn with speed, though he got it chopped away from him, though, by Walker. Kuhn will pursue it back into his own end, and the Chippewas will kind of work out. And this is a little bit of a low-ceiling barn, kind of like we see in Martin as the Chippewas are offside. But it's definitely a fun little environment. First year for LTU, and I'm sure as the years go on and this program progresses as it has over the last couple of seasons, from a team that's kind of struggled in the midpoint of the ACHA to the way they've progressed over the last couple of seasons into the top echelon of Division III. They'll certainly make this place their own over the next coming seasons. Kuhn backhanded out in front of the LTU zone as Central Michigan's on the attack. Nick Kuhn able to box his man out, trying to step free in the right wing circle, couldn't do so. Martin's got at the point. He lost this on goal. Young will paddle this into the corner, where LTU tries to chop at it and eventually will trickle up to the left side. Ristopanik will move it out. Ahead to Genzel, who just dumps it in. With 12:28 to go, third period. Centering feed picked off by Morgan, and he'll play it out to neutral ice. Siraki hammers his man at center in Losier as the puck goes up and out of play, but that's some great physicality there from Andrew Siraki right there.
It's been a physical contest. You're seeing CMU and LTU run each other into the boards, but Andrew Siraki with a massive hit trying to spark something for Central Michigan with 12:16. That time is ticking away fast.
Yeah, we've seen a lot out of him in the last couple of games. Andrew Siraki hasn't had a ton of goals, no points over his ACHA career, only 6 of each for 12 points. This will go up into the Central Michigan bench across the way, but credit to Siraki is now Gilgren's a little frustrated as he got hauled down across the way. At least that's what he felt like. I, honest to goodness, wasn't looking at that particular part of the play. Draw to left of Woolery now. Gents to dig in with Bottles. Bottles able to win it for CMU, and they'll chip it out through center. Off the high glass, Bishop off to the races. Boxing out Hernandez, he goes down. Lost an edge though, so no penalty. Hernandez able to jam it out through center. Gents poked it away from Armentrout. He's across the line of 3-on-2. Dropped it down the wall far side. Dahl trying to motor it out in front, but couldn't do so. It eventually comes to the left point where it's kept alive by Losier. He turned it over though, and it's sent back across the way where Hernandez will play it out to neutral ice. We were talking about Andrew Siraki. He didn't have a single point through the first 5 games of this season. Now the puck will roll in on Caleb Woolery, and LTU's wanting a penalty. They aren't going to get one, but Siraki's been good over the last couple of weeks. Had a 3-game point streak from October 5th to October 9th, and then he's got points in 3 of the last 5 games.
He has, Reagan. You go back to that Michigan-Flint game where he had an absolute dandy of a goal for to get that game-winning goal, and it looks like LTU just somebody got sent to the box for LTU.
Yeah, I was going to let you finish your point, but now that you bring that up, Lossier is headed off for the Blue Devils at the 8:31 mark. My guess is Lossier said something to the official, and it's an unsportsmanlike. But nonetheless, Central Michigan's on the power play here, and boy, but oh no, wait, hold on. Are we playing 5-on-5 or is? Okay, so it was a misconduct. Okay, so we are playing 5-on-5. They showed it up on the board for a second, but I neglected to count my players. We do have 5 aside. Draw to the left of Caleb Wooler, and that would explain why the faceoff's down to the CMU end. Gibbs to dig in with DRC. One by DRC, and we played down behind the Chippewa net. Hop, trying to flop it out through center. It was hammered in by Grove. Maddox Grimes back defensively for Central Michigan, able to work it away from a Blue Devil and sends it down the ice. Icing is going to be waved off here as it didn't have enough steam. Racing out of his own zone. Here is Pedersen, ahead on right wing to Grove. He steps into the circle, a shot off the glass as it was blocked. Grove gets it right back. Right in front of our rinkside microphone, sent it out in front. Nick Oda with a beautiful opportunity, and Woolery made the save. Caleb Woolery stretching out the left pad, makes a fantastic save on Nick Oda, point-blank range.
Great job by Caleb Woolery, sticking with that puck all the way. And Caleb Woolery, although he's allowed 4 goals tonight, 3 of them on the back door, which is nothing he can do, he's played really, really well tonight. He's faced a whole bunch of shots from LTU. You go back to the end of the second period, shots were 35-9 in favor of LTU.
And they just keep pouring on the pressure here in this third period, as the linesmen have been particularly picky tonight on how guys line up. Noticed that kind of throughout this contest as Woolery's forced to make a save fresh off the faceoff. LTU kept it at the blue line. They throw it around the boards. Radu, far corner. Gents in the slot. Spin around backhand shot was deflected wide. Rebound corral on the near side and chipped out by Central Michigan. Just about halfway through this third period, as you hear the band chirping Caleb Woolery, I think they got some sort of a response. Now look out, a breakaway for Gents. Caleb Woolery came way out of his net to knock it away. Smart heads-up play there by the sophomore netminder as the Chippewas are able to clear it. Clearing attempt by LTU, hit off a skate at neutral and will be sent back in by the Chippewas. LTU, though, able to break it out here. At his own line, Siraki will take it and chip it on ahead. Nick Young out of his cage will reverse it across the way. Good poke check by Kuhn at the blue line to keep it alive. Woolery will see this roll in on him and land with the pressure. Will force Woolery to put his stop to action.
Fans, if you're looking for game reports, stats, schedules, and more, take a trip to SeamishIceHockey.com. Right there you can find those and much more, including player information, recruiting information, apparel, and lots more. That's SeamishIceHockey.com.
Now say that 5 times fast.
That'd be very hard to, and I tried to the first time, and it didn't go so well.
Nick Young had to come way out, Tim Young had to come way out of his net to keep play alive for LTU, and now they've got it in the Chippewa end to our left. Moran hammered to the end boards. Well, the Blue Devils still control. Tommy Walsh sends it across to the far side, controlled by Tate Wright. The defenseman will shovel it down deep, intercepted by Camara, who will fire this off the referee and down the ice. Hopefully didn't hit the linesman too hard, as he had that hit him up high. Bucket center, Morgan hammered Rand to the boards. Gives him extra shot as Rand goes off to the bench. Meanwhile, puck tied up in the left wing corner, Central Michigan ad. Blake Holtkamp in there for LTU, the freshman out of Madison Heights, Michigan. He's able to pin up the puck against the boards before the Chippewas look to go to work behind the net. Trying to get it out, but You hear the referee saying, let's go, boys, let's go, let's move it out. And they finally work it free. Centering feed, knocked down by LTU. And away come the Chippewas. Siraki smacked it on ahead, but it was turned over, and Holtkamp at neutral ice for LTU will step across that line. Coughed up the puck, though, and Barnes at center. Old dance around the left wing, cut in, trying to fire it out in front, off a couple of Chippewa bodies before it's cleared out to the hash marks. But Blue Devils poke it deep. Bowerson able to get it out on the far wing, but LTU quickly right back in. They're going to be offside, though, as Stepanek couldn't hold the line with 7:49 to go here in the third period.
Starting to see Central Michigan match LTU a little better step for step here. They're getting into their passing lanes. They're making sure they're laying some hits on LTU when they can to get the physicality going. Try and play a much more disciplined third period.
We are just outside the Chippewa line near side. And again, some more jarring between, this time it's Dominic Giordano and Chris Armentrout. Two wings on the inside of the faceoff. They don't play any part in it, though. LTU takes it at center, rifles it on in. Bowerson behind his own net with under 7 minutes and 40 seconds to play here in this third period. Look out, a giveaway save by Woolery. Rebound off the shot from the left half wall by Barnes. Comes back up to the point. Walker, another shot, and that was blocked by Bishop. But now the Blue Devils tied up in front with the Chippewa end. Meanwhile, play back down to the LTU end as the Chippewas force a turnover. Bishop spins around, fires it down deep. Bottles trying to dangle out in front. Bishop trying to poke the puck free, but Walker will deflect it on ahead. Here comes Caleb Dahl looking for a second of the night, a save by Woolery, and it's cleared out by Martin. Great play there by Wall to receive the pass at center. He had plenty of room, but couldn't beat Woolery. Now the Blue Devils are right back in. Chipped out. Look out, they give it away. Holmes dangling to the back door. His pass for Radu couldn't go. Radu feeds it back up to the right point. Guillermo Hernandez lets a shot go, and it's gobbled up by Woolery with 6:45 to go here in the third. Now the referee having a discussion, looks like with Luke Radu, the junior out of Highland, shaking his head as he goes to the bench. Looks like there might have been a little disagreement on a possible penalty. Now, the Blue Devils right off the face-off, rifle it high of Cole Nicoda with a snapshot right off the face-off.
That's how quick this LTU team is. They can get a clean face-off win, rifle a quick shot on goal, and those face-offs. Another tough issue tonight for Central Michigan is winning those key face-offs when they really matter. It's been all LTU thus far this contest.
And it's not even like the face-offs that LTU is winning are won out of any sort of grit. They just are able to outmuscle CME, win the face-off dot, and win them extremely cleanly. Jace Johnson at neutral ice will motor in across the line right wing, try to protect the puck to the outside. Does so successfully, winds up around the far boards. Will spin around and dump it deep. Hernandez in the far corner, able to chip it out for LTU. And be played to the near side with 6:15 to go here in this third period. Now, I mentioned earlier about this barn being kind of taken over by LTU. They've done a lot of good things with this rink. One thing that perplexes me is they put their logo at center ice. There's nothing wrong with that. They've flipped it the opposite way, so the fans are looking at it upside down. And I honestly can't figure out why they would put the logo facing the benches and the scorer's table rather than the fans.
It's very odd, and they did a great job on the logo, but it's very interesting that you point that out, Reagan, because looking at it now, it's very odd to see an upside-down logo towards the fans' perspective.
Yeah, usually you'll see that if you're like an NHL rink and you're sitting on the opposite side of the penalty boxes, but an interesting configuration here. But again, as Michael said, a well-done logo. It'd be nice to have a CMU logo at center ice, especially with the D2 team moving up to ACHA Division I come next season. Here's a shot and a save by Woolery on a one-time blast from the right wing circle. LTU on the attack once more. Barnes has it up the left point, tries to dangle around Hop, but he can't do so. Hop slashed two-handed and no arm up from the referee. That's a bit perplexing, but we play on. Here's a shot by Johnson, saved by Young. A rebound fed out in front by Jace Johnson. As both Jace and Julian are out there right now for the Chippewas. And they're both going to stay out there. LTU can't find the bouncing puck. Woolery got hauled down, finds the rebound on an odd carom off the end boards. Did you see what took Woolery down? Looked like he might have gotten tangled up with a Blue Devil who was cutting through the crease, and that's exactly what I think Caleb's going to talk about with the official right now.
Exactly, Reagan. LTU was cutting across the crease, took Woolery down. He was down and out, which created gaping right side where we're looking at it of the net for Caleb Woolery. Still talking with the official about it. Frustration showing. Nothing will come of that, unfortunately.
Credit to Caleb, I think. If you're going to have a discussion with the official, that's the best way to handle it. Nice and professional-like. Now out through center, Chippewas have numbers, but Julian Johnson overskated the puck and he gets hammered on the near side here by Genzel. Genzel's the one that pulls it free back in his own end off the tie-up. It'll be played behind the net here by Walker. Walker ahead on the left wing, stretch pass ahead for Holtkamp, but it's going to be a penalty coming up here on CMU, looks like. High sticking the penalty, and it's going to go to Julian Johnson.
And Julian Johnson had the stick up earlier on Sam Stepanek. Had it up, clipped around his neck a couple times, and there Julian Johnson goes off for that high sticking at 15:45 in the third period. So LTU back on the power play.
Lossier is still in the box serving a 10-minute misconduct. So LTU on the power play for the fifth time tonight. They are 1 for 4. Great forecheck here by Siraki to start the PK, pressuring LTU at the Blue Devil line, but Blue Devils are right back in. Grove, his shot was blocked. Another opportunity saved by Woolery on another block shot, and the Chippewas are able to collect the loose change and deposit it into the LTU bank. Gents will wheel out of his own end. And with a head of steam, he's across that line, left side. Weaving to the outside, holds up at the point, sends it across, stepping in, shot saved by Woolery. Rebound sent high. And I mean high out of play off a deflection with 3:32 to go.
Central Michigan's also done a good job. They continue to get bodies in front of the net for Caleb Woolery and really getting their sticks down into those shooting lanes to sky the puck up into the rafters. So they're keeping traffic out in front, making it difficult for LTU to get some shots off.
Face off to the right of Caleb Woolery, won by LTU. Genzel will hold at the blue line and dump it down deep. Radu had his pass intercepted, and it's cleared down the ice with 1:10 to go on the penalty kill. Here for CMU with Johnson in the box. Up the right wing, Radu with a head of steam deflects onto a Chippewa stick, and they're able to get it out to center, but no further as it was cut off by DRC. Barnes will wheel it here with Radu. Radu steaming up the right wing, wandering his way into the zone, cutting the circle, a shot. He tried to feed that across the face of goal, but it was knocked down. Chippewas able to get it to the point, and on second opportunity, they will clear it out. Bishop will take a whack at Genzel and go off for a change. 30 seconds to go in the Johnson penalty. Barnes on the breakout for LTU as they move right to left in the waning moments of this third period. They're unable to enter the line. I do think Central Michigan, though, Michael, has done a very, very good job here on this penalty kill. In particular, they've certainly improved as the game has gone on. Bouncing puck controlled on the Central Michigan end. They unable to get it out with 5 seconds to go. Here's Barnes, top of the right circle shot. Thundering pad saved by Woolery. Rebound controlled by LTU. Gents will fire it in from the point on a turnaround shot. DRC got it free to Radu, left circle. His shot, he fanned on that. Gents has it up at the point. He'll whack it around the boards with 2 minutes to go. Here in regulation, Reagan Cleves, Michael Rosenkrantz. Here with you from Redford Ice Arena. Gents unable to keep it in, and it comes back out to center. Offside on the Blue Devils. Then at minute 51, these two teams will face off again tomorrow, Michael. And a 4:30 puck drop from Martin Ice Arena. First of a doubleheader. D3 at 4:30, and then D2 faces Ferris State, who's a D3 squad, at 7:30. Face off just outside the Chippewa line. They'll control it and play it back defensively after LTU dumped it in. But, I mean, credit to D2 and Doug Wickstrom. They've really built up their program from where it was just even a year ago. They were really down in the dumps of Division II, and then less than half a season later, they're getting the call up to Division I.
It's a huge step up for the Division II program, so lots of good mojo for next season as Central Michigan is going to have a D1 program, which it's going to do good things for this university and hopefully can spark a change when Maroon and Gold go D1. Wow.
Another backdoor feed for Gents there from Holmes. And Gents was about 3 feet away from putting this game away. When I say that, it's pretty much put away 4-1 with just 1:07 to go. And we should clarify, an ACHA D1 team.
That is true.
Not an NCAA Division I program.
You know, there could be room for that in the future, though. Who knows?
Maybe this is a step toward it.
Exactly. There you go.
Certainly be something to see Division I hockey. Oh, a big hit by Maddox. Grimes in the corner. Decked his man. Meanwhile, LTU out in front. They can't put the puck home. Walsh battling forward in the corner, and a penalty is going to come up here against LTU as there's a Chippewa down in a heap in the corner. I can't tell if that's Nathan Bottles or Chris Armentrout. It ends with a 7, a two-digit number, and I can't see his face mask to tell if it's silver or black. We'll have a stoppage of play because of that injury with 45.49 seconds to go. Tommy Walsh is going to head off for another Central Michigan power play here. They're 6th of the night. And it is indeed Armentrout. Yes, indeed. Chris Armentrout. Good to see him get up.
Yes, that was another very scary hit on Chris Armentrout. Looked like he got a stick up or an elbow up to the face that caused him to go down in a heap, but able to get up and skate off on his own power. Very good to see.
Needs of Central Michigan on a power play with just 45 seconds to go here in regulation. The first of a 2-game weekend set between these two teams. Lawrence Tech ranked number 16. Central Michigan, barring a miracle comeback, they're 45 seconds away from snapping a 5-game point streak. They win the offensive zone faceoff. Isaac Gibbs will push it deep. Andrew Siraki behind his zone net. Behind the offensive zone net. Nathan Bottles tried to dish it back to him from the right wing corner, and it was deflected up and out of play. 33.1 seconds to go here. Third period. Chippewas trailing by 3 here in this third period. Radu and Morgan to dig in. They receive instructions from the linesman, and they drop the puck, and we're back underway. Under 30 seconds to play. Bottles hammered into the corner. Morgan unable to pull it free. He's bottled up behind the net. His 2 Blue Devils are right there. Morgan hauled down, and it's sent the length of the ice. Chippewas gotta be careful here. They don't make any penalties of frustration. Radu tried to center it out in front with 5 seconds to go. And that'll do it. The point streak ends at 5. Lawrence Tech defends home ice, and Central Michigan goes down 4-1 here at Redford.
Yeah, tough one for Central Michigan, but I give credit to them in this third period. Able to keep LTU scoreless off the board in that third period. Match them in terms of pace and really getting the sticks down in the passing lanes, bodies in front of Caleb Woolery to block those shots in order to keep LTU at bay in the third period. But those penalties, and particularly the special teams, being a huge difference today in this one.
Final shots on goal for LTU. They get 49 on the night. 14 in that third period. Central Michigan, a measly 2. in that third period. Just another show of utter dominance and how dominant this game was by LTU. Michael and I will recap it when we come back. 4-1 the final here from Redford. Central Michigan snaps their 5-game point streak. We'll be back with more to recap this one here from Redford, Michigan, here on CCHN. Well, good things can only last so long, and point streak can only last so long. 5 games it snapped at here at Redford Ice Arena as the Lawrence Tech Blue Devils take down your Central Michigan Chippewas 4-1 here at the freezing cold barn in Redford. We had this debate earlier in the broadcast, Michael. I really think this is colder than Martin.
I would definitely think this is colder than Martin. Now you're going to have to do a compare and contrast when you go back tomorrow, but goodness gracious, when you walk in here, it was just freezing. You could see our breath walking in. That's how cold it was when you first stepped in here.
And we can still see it.
Exactly.
As of right now, but as cold as this rink is, the Chippewas started even colder. About 5 minutes in, they get a power, less than a minute in, they get a power play, and they allow a breakaway shorthanded tally for Will Gents. He gets the opening tally of this game, but credit to the Chippewas. They were able to shake off that coldness, come back and tie the game with Ryan Grollo at 3:49. I think it's kind of remained the same for the rest of the first period. Shots at the end of that first was 17-14, but things really broke open in that second.
It really did, Reagan. That was sort of when the frustration kind of came about for Central Michigan. They started to lose some of that discipline. Those penalties tacked on, and LTU was able to capitalize on those rushes with the fast team that they are, and each time in that second period, it was just textbook backdoor feeds that Caleb Woolery can't do anything about, and results in those 3 quick goals in the second period, and that's what ultimately decided this one.
Yeah, 2 goals in a span of about 4 minutes in that second period, one from Dahl, one from Holmes, one from Grove. That really put this game out of reach. Credit to CMU. They locked things down in the third period, but they really couldn't get anything offensively going all game. They had 11 shots on goal as we take a look at the final numbers for today's game. 49-11, Michael, the shots on goal. And, I mean, if you're going to pick a stat from this game other than the final score, that's got to be the one that showcases how dominant LTU was tonight.
No doubt, Reagan. And anytime you get such a wide margin of shots like that, it's such a tough spot for CMU. Caleb Woolery is a stout netminder, but he's facing a tough LTU team. And as tough as this LTU team was, again, credit to Central Michigan for keeping them at 0 goals in the third period, but it's really a tale of the special teams and, again, just how dominant LTU was. They were playing hungry tonight, and they sure look good for their 10th win of the season.
Those two third-period shots, the fewest Central Michigan has had in a period this season. Their previous low was 3 against Michigan State back on October 5th, that home game. But Central Michigan looks to turn things around. As we go and look into tomorrow's game, we'll do that in just a little bit. Final power play numbers, Central Michigan 0 for 6. Again, that big difference, that early shorthanded tally that kind of set the tone for the rest of this game. They go 0 for 6 on the man advantage and 4 for 5 on the power play. LTU, the dagger to put it away at 16:20 that second period. Grove from Gents on the man advantage. Their lone power play tally on just 5 attempts, but really Central Michigan was... they struggled on the PK throughout the night, letting LTU set up with abandon, not really being able to clear the puck. But I really want to highlight a good job they did on that 5-on-3. About midway through that second period, at the 16:41 mark, Gibbs and Hutton both whistled off, and LTU didn't score on that 5-on-3.
No, they didn't, Reagan. That was a good job by Central Michigan, able to settle themselves back down, just play their game, and able to clear the puck out with ease and not allowing LTU to get chances after Central Michigan could not get any chances with their 5-on-3 on their own. So that was a good way to come back from that. And Central Michigan, things to look at for tomorrow, things to adjust on for tomorrow, but there are still some good you can take away from tonight.
Indeed, some good we're able to take away, and why not? Let's take a look at our 3 stars of the game. Third star of the game goes to Evan Holmes, who had the third goal of the game for LTU. He was a really big presence on their power play tonight, generating a couple of chances on that power play. Caleb Dahl, our second star, the freshman, with his 7th goal of the campaign, the game winner at 12:05 of that second period. And then Will Gents, our first star of the game. So all LTU, unfortunately for Central Michigan, but lots of good things going on for LTU tonight. Will Gents had a goal and 2 assists. We'll step aside, wrap up things when we come back. When we come back, Central Michigan, again, the final score, 4-1 loss here to LTU here on CCHN. Back one final time here inside Redford Ice Arena. Reagan Cleaves, Michael Rosenkrantz here on CCHN. We'll be back on TV tomorrow. We promise, we swear, we'll have some video for you here tomorrow. That puck drop is scheduled for 4:30 p.m. Central Michigan and LTU coming up tomorrow at 4:30. Again, final shots on goal, 49-11. Caleb made 47 saves. 45. A curious fan come up and ask us how many saves Caleb Woolery made tonight. The answer is 45. But Anyway, we're back on the air tomorrow. Central Michigan looking to turn things around. They slip below the 500 mark again. Where do they go from here?
I think there's nowhere to go but up for this Central Michigan team. A tough one tonight against LTU. You have a chance to clean up some of the things that you need to clean up on for tomorrow. And you're back at home at Martin Ice Arena, where the Chippewas have had a better time at home than on the road this season. So they can use that streak to their advantage, but as long as they clean up a lot of their things tonight and play with a little more pep in their step and match LTU's pace, I think they're on the right foot tomorrow.
Should be indeed a fun one tomorrow. Michael and I will be right back here on CCHN. Again, we hope we have TV, but I'm not going to make any promises given the troubles we've had in the past. Central Michigan falls to 7-8-1, and LTU improves to 10-0-1 here tonight with a 4-1 victory here at Redford. Before we head out, one final look at the out-of-town scoreboard. The Grand Rapids Griffins, how about them, Michael? Up 2-0, 10 minutes into the hockey game. Boy, I'm liking this season from Grand Rapids. They've been really good to start the campaign. Second in the division to start things, behind, of course, who else? The Milwaukee Admirals, but the Griffins have had a very good start to the year, and they're up 2-0 on Chicago early. You can listen on Wood Radio 1300, 106.9 FM. Bob Kaiser has the call with you with Larry Frigurski on Wood Radio. Saginaw and Erie are deadlocked at 0. The way they started in that one, as all games do. You can listen to that on WSGW out of Saginaw. Red Wings are at Anaheim tonight at 10 p.m. And another game to watch out. We don't have any score for you at the moment, but you can check Twitter. Hope and Michigan battling things out in a couple of top 10 teams in the ACHA's Division III taking the ice tonight here at Canton at the Arctic edge thereof. Before we head out, here's a reminder that the broadcast of today's game is a copyrighted presentation of the American Collegiate Hockey Association, the CMU Club Hockey Network, and Moore Hall Television. No reproduction, retransmission, or the distributions of the descriptions or accounts of this game may take place without the express written consent of the ACHA, CCHN, and MHTV. Speaking of MHTV, before we head out, they're what makes these broadcasts possible with the support from the student-run television station up in Mount Pleasant. Makes these broadcasts possible. They provide all the microphones you heard, enabling the nice, crisp, on-ice audio that we had here tonight, and they provide all our video equipment as well, which you will see in action tomorrow. We'd like to also extend our thanks to LTU, the entire coaching staff thereof, Ken Gaffney, Michael Wynick, Bryce Ebert, and everybody else at LTU. They've been very hospitable to us throughout this week, allowing us to chat with them pregame and giving us this wonderful spot to view this game here at Redford. That just about does it for us here tonight. Again, your final score, 4-1, Lawrence Tech taking down Central Michigan. We'll be right back tomorrow, but until then, have a great night, everybody.